3:33 p.m.
Hold on, let's see what's going on here. It says live streaming isn't available right now. Hold on, try again. No, this happened before. I'm not falling for YouTube's tricks. This has happened before, and I am calm as a cucumber. Welcome, everybody, to another BTR stream. I'm your host, Lev Polyakov. It is a great pleasure to have everybody here for another Free-for-All Friday. We are joined by the great Helios Logos. We are joined by Apex, whose social media I'm going to put in right now. So, Apex, you are a newcomer. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And Helios, I know that you cannot stay for that long of a time, so I would love to go to you after Apex tells a little bit about himself.
All right. So I've been part of the area for about a year. I've known Geo for about that amount of time. Haven't really been on any podcasts before. This is my first one. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here.
I do economics research. I sold the last bit of my soul to Wall Street, so that's where I am right now. And yeah, just kind of figuring out how to deal with the craziness that is 2020.
Excellent. And how do we deal with the craziness that is 2020 or 2021 Helios Logos?
Well, you really can't do anything about it. You just got to sit back and enjoy the ride. Mr. Bones' wild ride. Now, I don't know if everybody else remembers, but like a couple years ago on Twitter, there was this guy, his account, Mr. Bones, it was legendary. He got suspended so many times, and every time he would always come back, Mr. Bones rides again. Mr. Bones, he was like a set piece on Twitter for a good couple years, but I guess he must have got burnt out making new accounts all the time, because I haven't seen him around for a while. But that is what the title of this stream reminds me of. Obviously, the roller coaster tycoon green text is what he sort of based his account on. Legendary, honestly.
And the flavor that it gives to me, I wasn't really around that much for the Mr. Bones you're talking about, but I was around for the memes where it keeps being used. Same thing with the Wake Me Up Inside skeleton, that beautiful red skeleton chair that I used for that Princess Sally video we did, of that real doll that somebody made of Sally Acorn using an actual skeleton. And I do see it as us being trapped within this unknown world, unknown dimension right now.
I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
But do you, though? I mean, this is Kali Yuga, and there may be something to it.
Well, that's what all the NPCs in the Roller Coaster Tycoon were saying. They're saying, because basically the idea was that the ride was infinite and it never stopped, and then it went on for years and years and years, and people are starving to death on the ride. So they were saying, I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in for a minute, and I twisted Lab's arm, and I told him to start early.
And did you retweet this shit, by the way? Did you retweet
this? I did.
Excellent.
I'm able to pull these strings because that's just how it is.
Well, here's what you get. Because I did not finish eating, this is going to be the first part. This is the mukbang. So guess what this is? Any guesses?
You got to do the Tyler one where the food slides off the plate onto your desk.
Oh, if only. But can you guess what this is? Apex, can you guess what this is?
No, I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay, what is
that supposed to be?
Okay, well, we have Haka Says coming in here, our great raccoon friend. So I'm going to ask
Haka
Says.
Raccoon?
Yeah, Haka, you have a really good nose. You can smell really well. So what do you think this is? Turn your face to this.
Oof.
Can you turn your face?
Wait, I don't know if you're on the left or right of me.
No, you did it right the first time. There we go, yeah. No, do it again. Okay, yeah. Okay, whatever. What do you think it is?
I can't see it because my face is turned.
Oh, shit.
Oh, is that... it's not liver. It's like
It is
beef.
Liver. But what kind of liver? Can you guess?
Liver stroganoff. I don't know.
Okay, this is... well, you said liver, so you're right. This is lamb liver.
That's different.
It's really good. I just did a workout before this. I'm eating some lamb liver. I have some sauerkraut on the side. I'm gonna have some sausages, some snossages later, and I'm gonna drink some raw milk after that. So, all in the good day's work. This is the bright side of whatever may be going on right now. This
Very
tumultuous.
British European diet.
I guess you could say. I've started drinking milk, and I really enjoy milk. Like, I know, Helios Logos, are you part of the whole vitalistic, raw egg nationalist type of deal? Or
So you want to know? You want to know a little bit of secret
Yeah,
Helios lore?
yeah.
So my divine mother, she was very woke to the raw milk. So I grew up as a kid drinking raw milk, eating raw cheese, eating like
Healthy.
just the best shit you could get. So that's why I'm so powerful. It's because of all the raw milk that I drank when I was a wee lad.
There is something to it, because I noticed that when I started drinking the raw milk in the beginning of this year, I remeasured myself, and I noticed that I was 5'11", and now I'm 6 feet. I'm turning into a Nephilim. It's slowly happening. No, I think this is ultimately what I think is going to happen. I think that there's going to be a part of our civilization that's going to start to stagnate, while at the same time there are going to be cores that are going to be that much more powerful, because it's like, if you see pressure coming, you're gonna work out more, you're gonna take care of your family more, take care of like whatever community you happen to be around, as long as y'all resonate with each other. So that is the bright side of what may be happening right now. But what do you what do you think?
I've got a prediction.
Yeah.
I came to give my prediction.
So could we do a little overview first? I haven't been in the room for the last couple days. I'm curious where you guys are at in terms of discussion.
Well, here, how about I just preface it with giving this, and then I'm gonna have to go. So basically, right, like Biden, if this is predicated on the assumption that if Biden actually wins and they're not able to take it to the Supreme Court and get it overthrown, if he wins and gets elected, this is what I foresee happening. So I have to get this recorded on video so that in the future, when I'm vindicated, I can point back to it. So, all right. So this is what's going to happen, right? Biden's going to be declared unfit to serve as president, and his vice president, Kamala Harris, will be promoted to, president. And then when that happens, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, will have to step in as her vice president, because that's just how it works, right? Then that's like already seems like a horrible scenario, right? But then after that happens, Kamala Harris will be assassinated and Nancy Pelosi will become the president of the United States. That's what's going to happen if Biden gets elected, just so everybody knows. That's what's going to go down. It's inevitable. Nancy Pelosi, president of the United States. It's what she wants. This has been her plan all along. She's the one that's pulling the strings, the puppet master.
She looked
Isn't
so.
there
she looked so cute,
there's a
though,
non-zero chance that the Democrats lose the House, isn't there?
Nah. Like,
let me show you.
They're not going to lose the House. It'll be close, but they're not going to lose the House.
I want to
like
show
a tie or something.
Let's see.
I mean, it'll probably be like within 15 seats or so, but nah, it's not. They're not going to lose the House.
I want to show you guys a photo before you go, Helios Logos, of Nancy Pelosi with Kennedy. And I got to say, she's kind of cute. She's kind of cute in this photo. She's wearing
God. Maybe 500 years ago.
Please.
By the way, we're starting early. I didn't know this.
Yes, we are starting early.
Sorry, Gio. I pulled some strings.
Gio,
I made it happen.
Screwed me.
Jesus.
So here we go. Here is the photo. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? But here is the photo. I'm going to blow it up for everybody to take a look at. This is a young Nancy Pelosi with Kennedy. What do you think?
Oh, God.
Still has the Senpaku eyes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust her. I would not trust her.
You think they smashed? Like maybe they went to the washroom.
Kind of looks like one of his random mistresses.
Well, he smashed everybody.
Kennedy kind of was like a Chad and fucked everything that moved, so probably.
Probably.
And even though he had a lot of problems with, he had some kind of health condition that he had to take a lot of the steroids for, which may have helped.
He had degenerative. He had like what do they call it?
Not MS.
AS.
Was it?
It's like
AL.
Yeah. AL. Yeah. It's like a form of.
Did he have ALS?
No, not ALS. It's like this
Multiple sclerosis. One of the joint things.
It's where you're dissing your back.
Is ALS what Stephen Hawking had?
Yeah. No, he had
No, that's what Hawking had. I think you're thinking of McFly. McFly had Parkinson's.
Early onset
right?
Parkinson's, yeah.
ALS is what killed Stephen Hawking back in the 70s.
Oh, and they've been parading him. Oh, I can't. Yeah, and it's like a puppet with
There used to be,
he's a David Cronenberg puppet
when he got cyborged.
They had for fucking years.
I think Nancy will have like a dementia fit, and then she'll
already had one.
No, but like I know. Oh yeah, I know. But it's
Good
like
morning.
she'll have one where she'll go like she'll be at a press conference and she'll go into like vivid detail about her and Jack smashed in the washroom. It's like, well, he does this thing with his tongue, and then the handler's like, no, shut the
Gio, what the fuck?
Why is Gio perpetually horny? Like, I don't understand.
By the way, welcome,
Gio. You got to get a hold of
Apex
yourself.
to the show.
It's
Good
no
friend.
Thanks,
fap
Gio.
November.
Thanks, bud.
We
What
got
about Helios?
No fap November day 6 or whatever. Gio's already fantasizing about Nancy Pelosi getting plowed.
It's not.
Okay.
I didn't break. And if I'm just fantasizing.
no the fantasy.
No,
That's
but I
how
mean,
it
like-
starts. Then you have the wet dreams. Imagine having.
My dreams are a psyop. They're
Nancy
not real.
Pelosi.
It's all a succubus.
Slowly taking off her robe, taking off those velvet gloves that she was wearing with Kennedy.
Oh, those aren't gloves. That's just skin.
That's what people said about.
Why
Oh
would
God,
you do that?
the reptilian
Slowly peeling off her
shell.
skin to reveal her reptilian
I wasn't even
teeth.
going there, but yeah,
Jeez.
No,
But
the best is people,
unhinges
they
her
look at
jaw.
They who painted the succubus? Was it Fuseli? They look at that and they're like, oh, that's just nocturnal emission, man. It's like, no, it's like literal demonic possession. That nocturnal emissions are a psyop by big science for they want to sexualize you. They want you to believe that you there's an infinite amount of vril, when in reality you have to save as much vril as you can.
recycle it like Chris Chan.
No, Lev, no. Doesn't work that way.
I love that.
You can recycle the energy, but not no.
Yeah. I love that animated
Chris
cartoon that was made by Spaz Kid, where it showed Chris Chan eating the sperm, and then the sperm goes into his stomach, and like the sperm guys, they like start screaming in withering agony because the
that was
stomach
Spaz
acid.
Kid, that one?
Yeah, that was Spaz Kid.
That
did
was
all
great.
the entire animated series of
the best
Sonic 2.
election. The best election meme, I think I could pull it up. The best election meme was CWCville is like this close, and it's like a map of CWCville, but like it's got the election like blue and red on it. Like, it's like that close, CWCville. So
Okay, hey, Lev, thanks for starting early for me. I'm gonna go.
no
Helios,
problem.
thank you so much for stopping by. Anytime, my man. And also, we have Metaphor Man here with us, aka Shit Biscuit.
Oh wow, Metaphor Man is here.
Yeah, right under you.
Yeah.
Yeah, bud.
Hi, Metaphor Man. Bye, Metaphor
So Metaphor Man, what kind of
Just play someone get the gif of Grandpa Simpson like going in and out with a hat to the burlesque place.
Oh wait, by the way, Metaphor Man, what kind of metaphor would you give to this election?
It's like trying to bob for apples, but you have a ball gag in.
That's a good one.
Living up to your name.
I don't know why I find that funny. I just like that could be some kind of never mind. Just don't worry
So-
We all know why you found that funny, Gio.
So
So I don't know about you guys, but I have that that analytical autistic kind of mind that likes to play out all different scenarios and different outcomes that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been sleeping a whole lot because, my God, how many timelines are we at the precipice of? I mean, there's so many different things that can happen based on not only who wins, but from the decisions that get made after the fact. The schisms, what's the 5-year plan? Let's say Trump gets kicked out, takes over for Rush Limbaugh, hosts his own Trump radio show, and shits on Biden for stealing the election until he gets taken out.
Like literally, it reminds me of that scene in the Casino, where like Robert De Niro's character Ace Rothstein, he's got to like keep it quiet, but then he has the 8th Rothstein show where he like calls out all the Las Vegas politicians and the gambling board.
We'll say we're at the point where there are a lot of possibilities, not only like every day by day or the next couple weeks, but the long-term ramifications of each of those is pretty huge. I think.
I mean, like the worst. Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
we're good or bad because Trump is a fucking wild card, right? So we're at the. We'll say the only way Trump could seem to win at this point is if he was able to convince the public and or the courts that there was large scale election fraud
by the
taking
way, we
place.
gotta for the sake of the YouTube algorithm, let's make sure we figure out a way to be very creative with what we say. Tim Dillon made a video where he was like snorting coke in Nevada and was one of the ballot people. So all that I'm saying here is that I don't want YouTube, not that I think it will, but just in case, how can we say this creatively? I guess there really is no way, is there? We just have to
Nah, there really is no way.
Oh, well.
How about just...
What up, motherfuckers?
Colorful language.
What up?
Let's see, what can we say instead of that?
Modified.
Yeah. How about we can call
glow in the dark activities?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we could do that. We can
That could
do
work.
like we can call Biden. We could call him JoJo, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, just call him Joe. That's it. I think that's.
We can
pretty
just
much...
call him retard.
or that.
No, we can just talk
that
about
that word won't fuck up the algorithm too.
just talk
We
about
can
the
just
year
call
2000.
him retarded homosexual.
No.
No, we're
And
talking
our
about Florida
algorithm's
right now.
Totally destroyed.
Yes, we are
No,
talking about
no, you see,
Florida.
we're talking about the election in 2000 in Florida. Is that we
Good,
had two
yes.
candidates that in a very tight legal battle, which will very likely rest on the court, and the decisions that each of those candidates make going forward has a huge impact.
But is it
So-
true that Jeb had a role to play, and like the narrative was that Bush was stolen, like Florida was stolen because Jeb Bush was
Oh,
the
that he was
youngest
the
son.
freaking governor, and that his Diebold was a supporter of the administration and things.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
Florida did have a lot of shadiness to it.
Yeah.
I think so. There was, of course, the hanging Chad thing that we all talk about. There was also another
Of course,
thing
there's a
where-
lot of shadiness in Florida. There's so much sun there.
but they fucking fixed it. I don't know how they did it right this time.
I'll be killing
that was
myself.
good
on
No,
one.
camera.
it's
That was excellent.
They had
So
the punch-
2000
they have,
Florida,
the
one of the
punch-
big issues was they were using. It was one of the first times they were using electronic voting machines.
Yeah, the punch
And
ballots.
in
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of-
that's
No, but the pure electronic, the just touch screen
okay,
all.
okay.
These were the one. This was before we had paper trails and auditing. So there was a problem in a bunch of the precincts that a large number of people, elderly counties, I believe, voted straight ticket Democrat, except instead of voting for Gore, they voted for Buchanan.
Oh.
And something like 2 to 5%, which, not a huge number, but the election was called on a much smaller number than that. So of course they figure it's rigged because, you're going to vote straight ticket Democrat and then go for the weird libertarian guy. It didn't make any sense. But the problem was because there was no paper trail, there was no auditing, there was no anything there, you couldn't really do anything about it. You say,
Mhm.
oh, well, that's weird. And that's it.
But that's what I
So-
mean. Like the stuff that's coming out.
Some of
Like
the stuff, actually, well, there's two different kinds of things that are coming out right now. There's the statistical evidence, and then there's the hard evidence. The statistical evidence is the things like, what was the particular law? There was a certain statistics law.
Ben Holt's law.
Yeah, Ben Holt's
or
law.
something like that.
That implies that you expect a certain sequence of digits or certain numbers in a purely random sequence. And if there's numbers deviate, then it suggests that people are fudging them. Add a 1, add a 0, because psychologically we tend to use some numbers over others.
Well,
So
it's, not,
essentially
it's
you-
not even that, though. It's not... Oh, well, yes, that is true psychologically. But from what I understand how this law works is that if you have a sequence from 1 to 9, then you have a 1 out of 9 chance. If you have it from 1 to 10, all of a sudden you have another number 1, which rises the chance of the 1 being called for. And with every succeeding one, it
the
gets
idea
more.
was that the general idea was that you see a certain statistical pattern, and if you see one group have one pattern and one group with another pattern, it suggests something shady is going on. But the problem is, it's by itself, it's not hard evidence. It's just
But
statistics. There's the ones
media is really
in
going-
Wisconsin where I think they're looking at Wisconsin and Pennsylvania where there might have been 100,000 voters in both states that voted for just the president and none of the down ticket races.
That was in Georgia, I
And
think.
but not in every precinct in every race, if I'm not mistaken.
But it's
Like they haven't broken it down yet. But it's like we'll say one area, let's say votes 90% aligned, where they vote for the president and they vote for the Senate. But then these 100,000 people here in this one particular region that all were late or whatever, they just voted for the one guy. They didn't vote any of the other stuff, which looks like you're forging stuff at the last minute and being shady, but there's no way to prove that. It's a statistical anomaly. The other part I'm wrapping around to this is we have the statistical evidence and we have hard evidence. The hard evidence is the ones where you have dead people that are physically registered in a county, and they have ballots that may have been sent and received in that particular county. That stuff plays a lot more weight, especially in courts, but takes a lot more time to compile that kind of thing. So
the other thing that you saw just came out earlier today was that a precinct or a county in Michigan flipped because of a software error that gave 6,000 votes in that county to Biden when it should have been to Trump. And if you multiply that by 47 precincts, that's double the gap.
That's what I mean. Like the media, they're so adamant about.
So short term,
there is no such thing as fraud. Like
but basically, Trump doesn't disappear. Tomorrow.
No.
Trump's here. Trump Trump is here till the delegates cast their ballots, right? So he has from now till mid-December to make a case for election fraud, both in the courts and to the people.
I think
and bear in mind that
every single government document.
Whoever this new person that's coming on at 7:00, Chris TQ or OQ, I just want to say, I will be trolling the ever living shit out of them because they seem like a colossal faggot. So
no. Christock is great. He's been on these streams multiple times, and I am very happy that he has come back. He is a trooper.
Really? Yes. This is your pinned tweet? He's a trooper.
He's going.
He has in his profile followed by Team Pelosi.
James. We need to have various opinions on this stream. This is what Break the Rules is about. It's bringing people together who may not necessarily agree with each other.
Well,
this is something I've always been about from the beginning.
That's why you keep bringing him on.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna do me.
Ideas get stronger the more they're challenged.
Just please, no more F slurs.
Yes.
Because
oh no, I won't say that when we go live.
Care.
We are live.
Be like,
oh, I thought we go live at 5.
No, jeez.
Damn, dude.
Oh, I thought we weren't live yet.
Oh man, he didn't get the Helios memo. This is all Helios doing. No, I think
what's the opposite of an after party?
I think it'll be. Oh God, I think it'll be all right with that word.
I mean, he's already pre-gaming with a beer, so
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the word.
Pre-gaming.
We always start at 5. Why
I know
already.
Because of Helios Logos.
Yeah.
This is Helios Logos is doing. He wanted so much to come in at the very beginning while I was fucking eating this liver. It's gone now. No more liver. But what I do have is I've got this stuff over here. This is sauerkraut. Look at this. Look at this fine sauerkraut, which I'm gonna be munching on while you guys are talking.
Jugs, are you coming on today, Jugs? I see you in the chat.
Let me send Jugs a thing. I'm gonna send her the thing. So 1 second. Let me put this.
Hitler ballots.
3.9.
It would have been a more on-brand meme if it said 6
million.
million. Yeah, 6 million. Oh my God. But anyways, yeah, they're very adamant. Did you guys see the Anderson Cooper clip? The obese turtle
to be fair, a number of the MSNBC recently, and even the New York Times, shockingly, have been very slow in calling, well, not slow, but measured in calling races. I think that there's at least some set of journalists who are sitting there and going, we got burned really badly, and I don't want to look like an idiot twice.
Yeah,
or they don't want to get arrested if Trump.
Well, the journalists are different
CNN
from the committees
anymore.
that are in the background that actually decide these things. You know what I mean? The group that does the decision versus the anchor sitting at the chair.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that if, I mean, you're seeing with Glenn Greenwald getting kicked out of The Intercept. I mean, that was weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there is at least some hope Maybe I'm just being too optimistic, but
There's no hope. Get black pilled, bro.
white pills only in this chat, please.
White
Thank
pills
you.
only.
No, I believe
but-
in black supremacy, so.
No, but
Rukanda forever!
I could have told that by your beard, but you know.
Oh God.
Now they're
But
in.
no, it's true. I think like there's this exception that they want to push. I mean, rather a narrative of exception, like fucking Stephen Colbert crying, faking crying, and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to our sacred democracy." It's like, oh my God, like they think that Trump is the biggest aberration that
high school
came
play.
about.
How about
Yeah.
let's look at it on the high level.
It's sad.
All of the people that are on TV that want desperately Biden to win, or more specifically, they want Trump to lose. How confident do they sound right now?
Well, they wouldn't like. I think
I don't. Okay, ask me that in an hour, and the answer is different. I mean, these people have the temperaments of histrionic middle school girls. Like, you know, this is it's absurd.
Well, are they acting like they've already won? It seems to be kind
That's
of
what
we're still in
Braddock-
the fog of war right now.
that's
Some of
what
the more
Baddock said
radical
on
ones
Twitter.
are.
Yeah, metaphor man. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
no,
cheerleaders.
it seems like they're at the point where they don't know whether or not they want to be smug because they're going to get screen capped. And like, if this ends up reversing, which is a pretty good fucking chance of it happening, if they get
Let's just
screen
say
capped and
50-50.
ratioed, yeah.
Then
But we'll say
the
any
Larry
other
David
time-
music will be playing in the compilations.
By the way, speaking of histrionics, I found this drawing online called Histrionic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Histrionic the Hedgehog.
I drew that. That was
Psionic
me.
the Hedgehog.
Please credit
What?
the artist, and the artist is me.
Is Sonic doing the Wakanda Forever? Is that what that is?
Psionic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, so I don't know. My white pill to everybody who doesn't know how things are going to go after this is, number one, if we have 4 years of people being really pissed off at what starts to become, like a really woke leftward stance in these various institutions, then I think that would galvanize people who are on the right to come up with somebody who, let's say, would not be as boisterous as Trump, still deliver the same messages. Like, what I never understood about Trump, and please help me out here.
Trump versus Trumpism.
Well, yes, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
But like, help me out here to understand, because I can imagine a scenario where somebody like Trump back in 2016, or imagine in 2024, would have gone on stage, made the exact same points about the problems of America having been milked for this long time like a lol cow, and at the same time done it in such a way that people would not really be able to attach any label of sexist, racist, homophobic, just do it in some kind of way where the same message would have been delivered. It would have been very critical in an incredibly harsh way of the powers that be, while at the same time not really giving the media that same kind of ammunition. So I'm curious if something like that would work. Or
That's
not.
not going to work.
I disagree.
Kanye West.
No.
Kanye West
Like,
for president?
I disagree in the sense that, like,
anyone the Republicans
no
will put
one-
in there. Yeah.
no one. You are not going to get a Trumpism without Trump in 2016, because Trump is, his curse and his blessing is that he is genuinely a narcissist, and that he needs people to love him, and he
Much like
loves
His
the
myself.
crowds.
superpower.
Much like
Yeah,
myself.
no, he loved the crowds, and he went
on a
out
second.
there and he just went, because the crowds were loving him. Like, the only other way you get Trumpism without Trump is if you get a sociopath in 2016 who's spewing the same rhetoric, but
Hold on,
out
I'm
of
going back
no
in time real quick to
sincerity.
2016.
Yeah,
I say
like,
things and people love me. They love me.
Yeah,
I
no,
could
like
shoot someone.
Trump was authentic because he was a
Yeah.
narcissist. He genuinely wanted the people to love him. And
Yeah,
as
but I
much
can
as
relate.
that leaves, and I mean, as much as it leaves him open because he says a bunch of stupid crap, like,
So
no
do
one
I.
else was going to
What
I'm
else
challenge.
is
gonna
there?
make the Mexicans pay for it. Yeah. like, stuff. I think the difference being, like, here's the thing: all politicians deep down are probably sociopaths, but
You
It's
have
the-
to be a sociopath
Oh,
to become
definitely.
a politician.
but the difference is that Trump is a media skilled product of the culture industry that has if you watch my video, I talk about how Trump is a product of the culture industry that rejected him. So it's this very interesting dynamic where he wants to get back at the people that spurned him for going down this route. So he's a different type of sociopath than or narcissist or whatnot than the average like careerist striver managerial state politician. So it's
yeah. And you are seeing some of the more careerist politicians begin to position themselves as being the next Trump. Like I'd say Ted Cruz is doing it. The Florida governor's doing it. I mean, there's a few of them.
Who's that Chad guy in the wheelchair that BAP endorsed?
Oh,
Madison Cawthorn, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He could be president. Yeah, he's too young, but metaphor man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good vibe from Cawthorn. He seems like another one of those that would be like the what's his name, Dan Crenshaw.
Oh, okay.
Like that type where he's like, yeah, I'm for you guys, I'm behind you, but anytime there's any sort of challenge like there is right now, he'd do the same thing that Crenshaw doing to Trump.
I think Dan Crenshaw should just Dan Crenshaw should just dress like Big Boss. And he'll just dominate.
Like Big Boss, man.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Crenshaw, but he has the fucking eye patch. So if he's just dressed like Big Boss and did maybe some Big Boss imitations, I would pay attention to who he is. Maybe even vote for him just on that and nothing else.
That's what people did. That's where we're at. They're like, oh yeah, he's this prior Navy SEAL. He's so base, dude. He's gonna be the next Trump. And then he gets in office. It's like, no, he's about 10 times worse.
He can't see enough if he's in office. Like I feel like you need two eyes to be president.
Yeah, one eye in the titties, one eye in the streets.
That's right, baby.
Well, like
the true JFK strategy.
Well, like I Can Click says in the comments, you should watch out for Cawthorn. He wrote a Daily Wire statement of intent about like basic bitch GOP stuff. I don't know. I think because Cawthorn just looks like a Chad. He's blonde and blue eyed. I think that's why a lot of the bodybuilder Twitter took to him. I don't know if he's really authentic or not, but it just seems that, I don't know, there might be, put it this way, I predict, as much as I don't want to be blackpilled, I predict a huge vacuum of that spirit of Trumpism if Trump were to exit the scene, if he doesn't win. There's going to be probably...
Oh, you mean going for the quiet life?
Well, he probably won't do that.
Is that even possible?
No, it's not possible for him. It's not.
He's going to start the Trump Network.
I mean, the way I see it, Trump, if Trump were kicked out, he would start his radio network. He would co-host with Rush Limbaugh, and he would basically campaign for the next 4 years.
No, he's going to TV network.
The funniest case scenario would be Trump losing. Then he goes in 2024 against Biden and wins. That would be so.
You think Biden will still be alive?
The Grover Cleveland
I don't think they're.
You mean Harris?
Biden probably
that he'll run against Harris.
That would be like the funniest thing ever.
I think Biden,
honestly, it would probably be even funnier if he did it against Kamala and won.
Yeah, it'll be all the memes saying "Miss me yet."
Oh God, the boys are back in town. Then he'll be like riding in a helicopter with that playing. No, but it's true. It'll be like, here's the thing: if Joe wins. I predict Joe's life expectancy in the seat not looking very good. I think, I don't know,
2 years, less than 2 years.
I think by the third, by 2 or 3 years.
Sooner
I
than
mean,
that,
I predicted
6
Hillary
months.
was gonna die by now, so I feel like you never know.
Wasn't there?
I mean, obviously Biden has more brain rot, but like at the same time, like regardless of what happens, it's just gonna be fucking Cheney all over again with Kamala. So.
Well, this was before my time, but apparently in the 80s, in the late 80s, that was a big thing with Reagan, where they said he had dementia. And that was like a big debate, whether he was like fit enough to like, perform. And then his like backstabbing son, who became like, I don't know, a gay rights activist. What was his name? Ron Reagan, basically spilled the tea just to like dick over his father's legacy. Like, yeah, he had dementia in office. He didn't belong there and all this shit. So I don't know, maybe it might be the same. I don't know. We've had other presidents who have had, various deficiencies. So I don't know.
I think it should be a thing that you have to be mentally retarded if you want to lead the United States, because all its citizens are retarded. So why would we not have a retarded leader in chief. It just makes too much sense.
Like
True representation.
Yep. By the
Exactly.
people,
That's
for
what
the
I'm
like
people.
the mention
saying.
quote, yeah. That the citizens get the people that are exactly like them, and that they deserve it. Yeah.
There we go.
What we deserve.
I remember, like, if Trump comes out, he's like, I have a slight case of, I wasn't feeling good the other debate. I have a slight case of autism, and, but the doctor
I got the vaccine. They gave me the autism and the vaccine.
Doctor set me up with the Roblox. I'm totally stealing a Cumtown bit, by the way. I'm not.
What did I miss? I was absent for an incredibly long amount of time. There was an important phone call I had to take. What did I miss? What happened?
You missed me saying that America deserves a retarded president because all citizens are retarded. So,
oh man,
and that's about it.
Oh my god.
Well, we may be going through that time right now, but I did not hear the full answer just because I was absent to what I was asking before about why can't there be someone who would be charismatic and say the right, the right things about the problem that America's going through, fuck the Chinese, all that, and at the same time not give the same kind of ammunition. Maybe you went over it, I was not here. Could anybody say, in short, why they think that that's not possible?
Because we don't deserve it. We're a country of fucking retards. We keep we fucking.
Oh my god.
Biden looks like he's gonna win, and this is the DNC stole it from Bernie in the primaries yet again, and we let this happen. And America as a society has probably voted in Biden. So because we're a country of idiots and let us get fucked in the ass, we don't deserve anything good ever. We only deserve bad things as
well. Bernie could have won, guys. I mean, Bernie could have.
Bernie could have landslided it.
I'm sure.
I know it's a meme, but like he really could have.
He's a populist Democrat candidate.
Exactly. Honestly, if Bernie had if Bernie had the attitude of Trump, he would have won. He would have not got fucked over. He would have ass raped Hillary. He would have ass raped Biden, and he would have won.
But then
if he was 20 years younger too, it would have
But then
he's too much of a fucking pussy.
But then the question is, again, coming from somebody who's from the USSR, what policies would be implemented as far as, the prosperity of the United States goes? Because, look, there isn't any great fucking choice here. But if we are talking about having some kind of system with elites who are always going to have some kind of a cancerous relationship to any country that they would rule over, the question for me is, what is a tolerable amount of that? Because you're always going to have some kind of hierarchy regardless of who you have, whether you have Bernie Sanders, whether you have Trump, whether you have Pelosi, whatever. Whoever you have, there's always going to be a hierarchy.
GFoss06 in the chat makes a good point. That's why he lost, because he's a pussy. He couldn't even get rid of the fucking BLM chicks 4 years ago.
Oh, that was amazing. The best, I remember at the time.
That was embarrassing.
The best was the two BLM chicks screaming at him, and then the juxtaposed next to a photo of Trump with
Diamond and Silk.
Yeah, Diamond and Silk. Yeah. That was, and he was like, go to the thumbs up. See, I know about black people. I
know the best black people. They all voted for me. They're my favorite black people. They gave me the pass. I don't use it, but I had the pass. They gave me the pass. I don't need to use it.
No. Only Biden has that, because Biden can decide you ain't black if you don't vote for him.
You ain't black.
I
love how black people. I mean, we gotta save this for when Hotep Sophia comes on. But didn't Biden correct me if I'm wrong? Didn't he literally vote for segregation back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So wow, that's amazing.
No, it wasn't. He voted against integrating the schools.
Oh, okay. Base? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, we also have Mitchelson here. Mitchelson, how are you?
To save myself. Oh yeah, Mitchelson's here. Yeah. How's it going, bro?
Doing good.
Yeah, to save myself from that point, I do believe that if, I remember a few years ago when they proposed this black separatist school, and every normie conservative was freaking out about, oh my god, segregation. What about the Bill of Rights? It's I think. I was
saying hell yeah to Jugs, not the segregation.
Oh yeah. But if you wanted,
just to clarify.
Yeah, no, I think if you wanted a voluntary segregated school system that could cater to the needs of young black children, I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's like the Muslim school thing here in Canada. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think we should just have segregation between based and not based.
Yeah.
So pretty much we put all liberals in one and then everyone else in the other.
Well, I mean,
it's easy. It's art school versus trade school.
Art school versus trade school.
Now, as far as
I don't know about the that's another good question about the balkanization thing. If that's totally realistic, or if it's just going to naturally progress over like by people moving and you know, I don't know.
We need to remove the brainwashing on artists because there's too many artists that are just based on their art.
Hell yeah.
There's one, Matthew Lillard's an actor that I think super underrated. I love Scream. I love Scooby-Doo. I think he's fantastic. He was in Twin Peaks, but God, he's such an annoying shit lib on Twitter, and it breaks my heart every time I see him tweet. Like, we need to reverse the conditioning.
It's like when you see, yeah, it's true. That's. Yeah.
And we have a comment from JFaust06. Isn't that what charter schools are doing? In a way, I want to ask Hotep Safi about the charter schools in her area. But like, if you have an example of, let's say you have a nerdy black kid who all he wants to do is just read some philosophy or whatever, and then you have other kids in his neighborhood who grew up with single moms who are in gangs who are gonna beat the fuck out of this little kid. Like, why not have him go to the schools that those thug kids wouldn't go into because they have a different
You're literally
culture.
Like,
that's racist.
This is the Sam Hyde skit with the bullying.
Yes, I was just about to say that is exactly the same height. That is exactly the same height skit.
You would have to have black schools that weren't just like feeder schools for gangs. You'd have to like do something dramatic. I mean,
but then why would you even say it's a black school though? Why would it be a black school? Why can't it just be
I'm just saying
a good
the
school?
idea of a segregated school system that people have played around with. I think that the problem is that society as a whole, I know I hate to say it, but like it kind of is the social milieu of the environment kids grow up in these inner city places. So I mean, the shit libs, they're correct. I mean,
wait, give me screen share for a second, Lev.
Oh my God! Don't do it, Lev. Don't. I'm worried about this.
What are you gonna share? Tell me in advance.
I'm gonna put up the world peace skit.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Will that get copyrighted?
Oh, no. Here's what you do: put it in the Discord chat, because that it's not gonna be like a full screen. Because Adult Swim still owns that skit. And the other thing is that we're not really gonna hear the audio of it either. By the way, this is my shit, I was not talking loud enough because my mic was away. My mic was away from me, but now that I have the floor, I want to say, everybody, subscribe right fucking now. We are so close. We are so close to getting 2,000 subscribers. We are at 1,960 fucking one right now. Let me actually refresh that just to see, because it may be different by the time that I came back. Is it different? Is it not different? We are going to find out right now.
Oh my God.
It is 1,961 still. Fuck, no, we got to make it more.
Look, guys. Subscribe to fucking BTR. Subscribe to MK Ultra Money on D Live, and subscribe to Bad Filmcast on Spotify. And once you do all three of those, I will take a shot for every person that does all three things. So I'm gonna start off just doing a shot for the hell of it. But subscribe to BTR. Subscribe to MK Ultra Money on D Live, and subscribe to Bad Filmcast on Spotify or iTunes.
And if you
time you do all three of them, I'm taking a shot on stream.
And if you become
MK Ultra Money is not dead by the end of the hour, you have all failed.
That's right, baby. That's fucking right.
And
so what movies are you doing recently on Bad Filmcast?
I'm going to add in one more thing, by the way, to this offer. I don't know if you're going to accept it, James, but here's what it's going to be. If you become a Patreon, patreon.com/breaktherules, if you become a patron today, then, James, you're going to have to take some edibles. What do you think?
If you do both Patreons, I'll take some edibles, because the only reason why is because I'm literally down to the last of my edibles, and that my dad gave me, and I'm still been my friends been trying to get me more for months from California, but they're always sold out of the good stuff. So I really just don't want to waste it, is the only thing.
True.
Other than that,
comatose at the end of this.
If I had like plenty of fucking edibles, I'd be like, let's fucking go, baby. But New Jersey's fucking just legalized it. So I'm gonna take a ride on the PATH train, go to a fucking store, and then come back.
You hear Oregon legalize hard drugs too.
Yeah, well, hard drugs are gay, but weed all
well, you smoke some,
But yeah, no, that's the only thing. I need to ration my edibles.
Tone, it smells like fucking skunk everywhere. I can do that voice. I am Italian. I'm not being racist. Don't worry about it.
You're allowed to be racist towards
I'm
Italians.
allowed. I
They're
guess
the only
because I'm
race-
Italian, I guess I'm allowed to have a certain word pass. But no, I'm not going
Wait, and the Irish. You're allowed to be racist to the
Yeah.
Irish.
Yeah,
Oh,
but the
that's-
Irish
yeah,
aren't
the
even funny to
Italians,
be
yeah.
racist to. The Irish are just fucking drunks. At least with like Italians, it's like funny to do the voice. There's funny things to make fun of. The Irish are boring to make fun of. It's true.
Wow. In the American context, I could see why it's boring
Yeah.
to make fun of. Yeah.
I
It's like
wish they
that-
were funnier to make fun of. I'm
yeah.
mostly Irish more than any of the other things, which is still not a lot. I think I'm only like 25%, but like still.
You remember
There's
when
not
they
enough
used to have
funny stuff for Irish.
Polak jokes? Whatever happened to that?
There's still Polak jokes. I think you can still do Polak jokes. Pretty much anything like the average person would consider white is like fair game.
So
Once
guys,
you-
apparently, no, I was just browsing through Twitter. Apparently, Richard Spencer confirms the rumors
That he's a Fed.
that he slept with a certain someone at CWCville. But never mind.
Yeah, it was your mom.
Shut up.
Got him.
God.
Wait, what is CWCville? Is that like CWCville?
Carlinville.
Oh,
You get the right. Apparently, there's rumors with him and a certain
on, Lev.
Canadian woman. But anyways,
Now I'm
the
thinking
day,
about like
the time that high on the Trump supply, the right blew its load. And anyways,
well, now I'm thinking
so-
about a Chris Chan, Richard Spencer crossover.
oh, you mean CWC?
fanfic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're going to have another Unite the Right rally. They're gonna,
Chris,
but it's
wait,
gonna be
Chris
in
Chan, but with all
CWCville.
Richard Spencer's political
Yeah,
views.
no, Richard Spencer and all of the boys, they're going to get back together, David Duke, and they're going to go to CWCville, and they're going to have a Unite the Right rally there, and Chris Chan's going to fucking explode because he... So that's what's going to... It's going to be Unite the Right 2 CWCville edition, Quickville. So, anyways... so James, what films are you going to review at Bad Film Cast recently?
So we're actually when we come back for season 2, we're going to be rebranding as MK Ultra Money, which is why I changed my Twitter name to that. And because I kind of wanted to move away from the film focus and still do films. Like we're still going to go and talk about films that are poorly rated that we love, but like I just don't want to do films for every episode because it's exhausting to do like 2 films a week, 2 episodes a week, editing 2 episodes a week for very little on Patreon. And it's like I'm forcing myself to watch and talk about movies that I just don't want to do. So that's why like I kind of want to like whoever I'm having on as a guest, either like they pick a movie or they pick a topic and we kind of just go from there because we do mostly it's just shit posting comedy. You know, it's like, you know, always describe it as, well, what if Cumtown had movies?
Well, there you go.
Because that's like kind of our style. And, you know,
Well, they kind
that
of review movies, I mean.
Yeah. And, you know, we've done like what, close to 80 episodes, I think, in the span of just over a year. So until we went on break and I was just releasing the rest of what we had, like we did every week for over a year, nonstop, no break. And then, you know, we added the second episodes for the Patreon over the summer and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I still have so many of my favorite films to talk about, like Miami Vice, Under the Silver Lake, Spring Breakers, like so many big films, redoing Bad Boys 2, just because we did that like early on in the episode sucked. But so we have so many of my favorite films to still hit, but I just want to like not have the film focus be, and then that way, like when new people are coming in and they're like, well, why are there so many episodes that are about Pokemon or shit posting? It's like, 'cause that's what we do.
Yeah, the expectation that it's about.
So also I like the name MK Ultra Money a lot. Just because it's like one of those things. $1 Million Extreme, Chapo Chap House, Cumtown, MK Ultra Money. They're names that like you want to know what this is about. Like what do these combinations of cool words mean? And the answer is they mean nothing, but it brings people in, I feel like. So I have like I think a list of like 20 to 30 names that that I was considering, and then unanimously from like a lot of people in my group chats all decided on MK Ultra Money once we got down to like the final like 5 or 10. So
and you had MK Ultra JC Denton as your username in the beginning. So
yeah, and so that's why I just like, you know, I like the MK Ultra part. The money part sounds cool. There was like other things I considered like MK Ultra Diaries and some other MK Ultra Gold, but people were like, well, Diaries makes it sound serious. Money sounds cooler than gold. So that's what I went with. And it was like, it's kind of an easy rebrand for what I'm going with on Twitter right now. Just because I kind of like the schizophrenic conspiracy vibe, just because I'm into that kind of stuff anyways.
And
and
as far as Uncle Ted goes, he was the OG guy who was MK Ultra back in the day at Harvard, and as a result, he ended up planting bombs to
Ted K, baby.
Yeah, try to overthrow tech. But I wonder what that whole process was like, though. Because
by the way, we're gonna interview Ted Kaczynski. I know
Dude, that would rule.
Yeah, I know a prisoner through various connections who is going to hoop. If you know that prison slang, he's going to hoop a smartphone to come on Break the Rules. So he's going to hoop it and give it to Ted Kaczynski. So.
Oh man!
Sorry, I love using prison slang. Me and my buddy, the Stark Truth. Shout out to Stark Truth on Twitter. We always go on about prison interview YouTube. So
then we need.
But yeah, once we get back on for season 2, I mean, I want to start recording again because I'm already tired of being on break. But Matt has been in the process of moving, and he's just been slammed at work as an accountant, so he hasn't had time. But like once he's more free time again, I definitely want to start recording before we start releasing episodes. But definitely Lev, Geo, Jugs, Jules, definitely want to have you guys on and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
and also we have a comment from Caustic Dreamer. MK Ultra Gold sounds kind of Reddit. LMAO.
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra money sounds cash money though. So that's why we went with that. Reddit Gold.
Michelson, you were saying something.
Yeah.
Who?
Michelson, you were saying something.
Oh, hold on, sorry.
No, you muted yourself again. Everybody subscribe right now. This is the
subscribe. Let's do some fucking shots.
I love how we went from you muted yourself again. Subscribe.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, Mitchell's back.
The YouTube stream on, so it was just echoing in my headphones. But anyway, I was saying, if we get Ted Kaczynski on, we have to also get Martin Shkreli on.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Have, the prison interview, like just the entire
prison
gallery. Exactly.
We'll get him. We'll get who else is in prison who's pretty high up.
Well, we can go to the parallel timeline where OJ actually got in prison and interview that version of OJ.
Man, cool. It's so sad that Epstein tragically killed himself. We could have gotten him on.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That would have been the coolest interview ever.
And obviously he definitely was not murdered.
Yeah.
As we all know.
Obviously.
He could have gave us a grant, a culture grant.
But look, maybe he's still out there, because if you're doing those kind of deals,
well, he's out there somewhere, I believe.
Yeah,
but
I think if he was still alive, he would have subbed already. So
yeah, good. Well, he could be using an avatar.
Ghislaine, she was a big Reddit moderator, so maybe she knows about Break the Rules. You never know.
I know. I wonder. I think.
I don't know.
I think Epstein would have been more of a 4chaner than a Redditor, honestly.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I can imagine him going on.
Do you
4chan
imagine a Chan culture person marrying a Redditor? That's my God.
Oh,
that would be a sitcom.
Oh yeah, McAfee's still in prison. I've had him on before.
Is he in prison?
Wait, we can definitely get McAfee on once he's released on this.
Holy shit.
I have emails from Janice literally right before he got in prison. Janice was like, "Oh, he would love to come back on soon." And I was like, "Wait, really?" All right. Let's get John on this once he's out of prison.
Definitely.
Apparently, okay, so I have a Trump related. I'm browsing Twitter and I know he's cringe, but Jack Posobiec.
Oh.
But it's a good tweet. He says, who could have seen this coming? It's a screen cap of how does Rush Limbaugh say her name? Ocasio-Cortez. You know how he does the fucking. Okay, is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, photos, future, and the blah, blah, blah. Then some fucking simp in the bottom responding to her says, yes, we are the Trump Accountability Project. Every administration staffer, campaign staffer, lawyer, big account. So here's the thing. People, they don't believe me when I say that the Truth and Reconciliation model is going to be implemented if Trump loses. So, wow, this is the actual
email.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But
so we can get John McAfee.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to release him? How long is he going to be in prison?
I don't know. He's still tweeting from jail somehow.
Oh, he's probably hooped his cell phone. He's a fan of anal, by the way. He had that Twitter video. Never mind.
Wait, giving or receiving?
No, he had this fisting video thing where it's really, oh god, terrible. He's weird, dude.
Yeah.
He's so weird.
He's weird in every single interview he does. He like freaks out on people.
When he was on my podcast, he was drunk, high, and probably on heroin as well. Not even fucking kidding.
He was alluding together.
He said he was drunk.
Interesting
he said
man
he was
in the world.
high, and he was alluding to being on heroin as well.
Dos Equis should have used him instead of that other Eastern European guy. Like Hakason's right. He is the most interesting man in the world.
He really is.
Why didn't he conquer the Libertarian Party? He could like all of like the soy people that like control the Libertarian Party now. He could have just like choked them out.
He should have used the gun.
Does he seem like a planner to you? Yes, he could have.
There is no one alive or will ever exist more libertarian than John McAfee without being a pedophile.
Unless you're like a literal like Somali warlord or expat or something. Yeah. Well,
refill time.
Okay. Anyways, so this thing about they want to archive Trump people, I think it's worthy of discussion.
Yeah, well, no, the Ministry of Truth exists already in all but name.
Yeah. But let's play it out. How would it actually work out? So you have this ministry. What do? Do they go up to the kids in the school, or how does this happen?
Depends how serious they are. In Canada, the Truth and Reconciliation Councils, I don't know, they have marginal victories at best, but really it's different. Like I guess in America it would be different because it wouldn't be as tied to the government per se unless they have a congressional thing. But I don't know, the way that people like who's that Clinton junkie?
I just caught a mouse.
Who's that Clinton flunky?
Show us the mouse.
I'm not. I'll take a picture and post it in the chat. I'm not bringing it into my room.
All right. Oh,
I had these traps set up. I caught a mouse forever ago. I'm like, well, I'll just have more traps set up just in case. I literally go into my fucking kitchen just now, and he somehow like moved the trap like out like half a foot, but he's like stuck on it.
Wait, I can make your screen bigger, and you could just show the mouse from the door. You don't have to bring it to your desk.
It's too far. I have to take a picture of it and post it on there.
Okay, fine.
I wonder who's behind him.
But Gio, they're not going to have government institutions. What you're going to see is see an extension of the diversity initiatives that you see now in private business. You're just going to see people locked out. Like if you've tweeted anything, if they can tie it back to you and it's wrong, you're just going to get locked out economically.
Yeah,
especially in the cities. Like you're going to be given nothing.
The example, the cliched example of like, the private like fridge company doesn't want racists or homophobes using their service so it's their private corporation, so they could like lock your fridge if you say like a naughty word on a live stream or whatever.
We talked about that. The last BTR that I was on, we were talking about cancel culture and all that. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember, there was maybe like one or two people they didn't entirely agree with the fact that like getting canceled is a bad thing. And they don't understand like the full spectrum. Like there's being canceled. There's like soft being canceled where you get suspended on Twitter, you get like a 7-day lockout. And then there's hard cancel where you can't use fucking PayPal. And
even banks, like legit banks ban you.
Yeah,
in the
so
UK
banking services. Yeah. And that's always they're like, oh, if you don't like Twitter, make your own Twitter. Like, okay, if you don't like banking with these people, yeah, just make your own bank, dude. No problem.
Long term, that actually kind of happens though. Bitcoin, essentially, you can have decoupling. So if you kick enough people off of the central
Bitcoin, the problem with Bitcoin is that the central thing is not the banks. At the core, the central thing is who owns the internet backbone. Because there's like 6 companies that own almost 90% of it.
The infrastructure of service.
None of them have demonstrated any kind of allegiance to free speech or anything like that. And most of them have some kind of diversity initiative going. So
they also have a higher watermark to actually kick people off of the platforms. It's a very low barrier to get kicked off Twitter. It's a pretty high barrier to actually get kicked off of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, escalation. But I mean, if we're talking about truth and reconciliation commissions. I mean, that's the end point, you know, is you get locked out of the fucking internet.
Well, during discovery, they'll either do that or they'll do some other heinous,
so they're
re-education
and
type
Click
stuff.
makes a good point in the chat. Sorry, Lev.
No,
if I
go
could just
on.
say something real quick. Is like if like Bitcoin is very closely tied to electricity costs and all that. Like Bitcoin is not a sustainable alternative. Like cryptocurrencies just aren't sustainable. The energy costs, the transaction times. I mean, there are some little
depends on the
technologies.
Well, Bitcoin itself has a limited lifespan, but we'll
Yeah,
say
I mean,
crypto technology in general.
You could maybe go hollow chains, like maybe, but like I just don't see cryptocurrencies as being that, you know, as being able to meaningfully challenge any kind of like the monopoly on money power out there.
I see the cryptos definitely have a lot of downsides, but I think some of the flaws can actually be benefits. You know, the fact that you can't print Bitcoin or directly manipulate it. I'm talking about all the cryptos in general. That in a chaotic situation, you know, hyperinflation, you know, the Zimbabwe scenario, all of a sudden cryptocurrencies are the only stable thing in the world. That and basically raw calories, oil, silver, gold, etc.
Yeah, but the hyperinflation isn't going to happen. Not in the U.S.
Yeah, I
at
think
least.
the thing is,
it's unlikely.
When you control the world reserve currency, it seems that like people know that the monetary system is like a total hyper real sort of simulation.
So the problem is you can hyperinflate a single currency against a basket of every other currency, but how do you hyperinflate the entire basket of currencies? Like what is that? Doesn't work.
You mean if
so
they
you
go
can't
to
it's crashing the whole world system.
Like that?
No, so like this is kind of where I'm gonna pull out my my econ degree, you know, gonna whip that pseudo intellectual degree
macro?
out.
Whip it out and slam it on the
desk. Do you got a macro econ or do you got a micro econ?
We didn't get to choose. We had to take both, and then don't even get me started on econometrics. Fuck that class. Good lord.
How to lie with statistics.
Yeah, lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Which economic school are you part of, by the way? Like, do you lean more on?
Unless
like
you don't want to dox yourself.
Like the Thomas Sowell Chicago school or the Keynesian
school.
The
school.
Or,
I get it.
Yeah.
I think I'm asking
Lev
him,
is like, where did you graduate from? What year? What is your social
People
security
can guess
number?
where I graduated.
Just the last
from.
5 numbers.
What's your mother's maiden name?
Your social security number.
Last 4, just the 3 numbers in the back of your credit card, you know.
Those 3 funny numbers at the back.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah. But basically, no, I mean, in terms of where I sit, I think that most of the schools get a little bit close to the truth. But in terms of like inflation in particular, is like inflation is largely driven by like the ratio of money to goods and services available in the economy, and also the distribution of wealth that's being spent. And you're not going to see goods and services go down, because if goods and services go down, then the professional managerial class loses their class of effective servants who get them gig economy stuff. Those people aren't going away because the elites want them there. So like you're not going to see inflation anytime soon.
So how about if it was an either or, if it's either inflation or deflation? You say you run into an economic strain situation, you have to find one way to get out of it. So do you do debt defaults or do you inflate?
I mean, there's so many variables there. What you could, you know, one of the things is that, you know, talking about being able to print money is kind of you'd.
And we're talking metaphorically, of course. We're issuing, you know, different debt reserves and changing interest rates to the point where you're increasing or decreasing the money in the system. You don't directly print money anymore.
The thing that's interesting though is that you technically can. One of the more interesting things is that it is entirely possible in the Constitution for the Treasury to print a $20 trillion coin with Nancy Pelosi's face on it and pay off the debt. Most money that is created in the system is created by banks and other shadow lenders through loans.
Through debt. That essentially money comes from debt.
Yes. So the various between the reserve requirements that the Federal Reserve Board sets, other regulations like Regulation T that set how broker dealers can lend money, et cetera, et cetera. You get banks and broker dealers and other institutions, asset managers can generate money. And so, the question is that if you ended up in a scenario where you had to seriously deal with the debt, I mean, it's not really a question of printing more money or taking money away, but more of you have to just kind of rework all of the rules. Like, are the banks allowed to print money? How much money are they allowed to print? Is the reserve requirement 100%? Are we saying, abolish the Fed, no more, uncovered loans, et cetera, et cetera?
And I'm black.
So in the modern era, the tendency has been for inflation, or generally loosening debt requirements that allow companies to stay afloat at the expense of the potential stability of the currency.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really the stability of the currency as much as it is, because at the end of the day, like, the U.S. is backed by 9,000 nukes and the largest military and economy the world has ever seen.
So much for petrodollar. It's a uranium dollar.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt this economic conversation, but we have something even more important to look at.
Oh, Lord.
Mouse. Dude, he launched that shit like fucking 5 inches at least from where it was.
There we go.
And then he was trying to crawl back towards where he came from. Yeah, try and go back home, you little bitch. You're in the garbage now.
Got him.
Poor Jerry.
Oh,
Poor Jerry.
Got him.
So anyway, back to the economics. Go for it. And please subscribe, new people. Anyway, go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think what were we rolling around? We were rolling cryptocurrencies versus the global reserve system, right?
Yeah,
the global financial system.
I mean, it's ultimately, if a cryptocurrency is going to be sustainable and be immune to inflation worries, it needs to be directly tied to real assets, as in, you can only create more of this cryptocurrency if you're actually creating more value. Otherwise, you can.
Whereas the current system we have is basically calories. Is that the requirements are you have to use this many CPU clock cycles to crack XYZ password to get the next set of coins.
It has built-in deflation, and deflation isn't necessarily good or bad. It depends on the system, the context that it's in. But in most cases, it's good to have, if you want stability, if you want to not have to worry about a massive debt crisis or about, I'll give you 1/1 billionth of a Bitcoin for this bag of chips, so that the deflation doesn't go insane.
Maybe we should just paraphrase it, the small brain scenario, which is that cryptocurrencies do good when regular currencies are bad, right? Or in periods of panic, stress, and criticality, I guess, right?
I mean, to a degree, but that relationship is kind of broken. I mean, to be fair, every single market model has broken this year. My boss literally told me, he was like, it's fine if your model doesn't work. None of the models work. People are just flinging shit at a wall and hoping it sticks at this point. Buy. I'm not sure if anyone's noticed the last week in the election, but Bitcoin's gone up a substantial amount due to the uncertainty. And I can assume gold and silver did too. Yeah, I mean, it's odd, and it's a weird. It's been a weird year in the markets broadly, but basically, like if you want to avoid, like if our goal here ultimately is to avoid a debt cycle, or any kind of default, or serious worries about undermining the currency, you really do have to tie the currency to actual assets, which is harder because you don't have a government. Like at the end of the day, the petrodollar is not really all that relevant. It's that the United States government sits behind the US dollar and can do whatever it needs to do to pay back a debt. That's the ultimate thing. Bitcoin doesn't have that. And that's both an advantage and a disadvantage.
Right, exactly.
But you can kind of get rid of the disadvantage if you build a cryptocurrency that is somehow directly tied to
assets
the production of goods. You know, like if I like, the idea being that, like, if I find an empty field and I build something and I turn it into a farm, so now I'm creating a good, I am generating value, that directly creates a cryptocurrency. You know, and then in the case, of course, you know, one
like
of the
a farm, like a Sneed coin, that could be like,
or
farming.
you know, something like that. Or like if you build a factory, like if I go down to Brooklyn and there's some shitty abandoned factory and I refurbish it somehow and, you know, start producing things out of it, then I've added value to the system. And in that manner, I've effectively would have to have a system that would create the currency alongside it. In other words,
sort of ironically, that the Bitcoin, the current system we have now is where Bitcoins come to an existence by burning calories, by using CPU cycles and consuming energy, which
and huge amounts of it.
Yeah.
And the problem is that you can't necessarily criticize it because it's not like the US dollar is tied to assets. The US dollar is tied not to production but to consumption. You know, like it's. But
I guess the potential advantage is that Bitcoin doesn't have anybody running it per se. It's not something that can be managed or manipulated to a certain degree. Or to the same level.
That again is the one key advantage of a cryptocurrency, which is why, again,
stability,
if you can marry that
relatively.
Yeah, if you can marry that it's not controlled by a central institution with, we now have effective economic stability as well, in terms of it's tied to the production of value and not to you know, banks just giving out loans based upon profit margins and all that, then you have a borderline perfect, I mean, there's nothing, it's not gonna be perfect, but a much better cryptocurrency. You have one that can really, you can go to a place and be like, hey, you know, the idea that, you know, we don't have the money is not an excuse anymore. You know, if you have people and you have land and you have things that need to get done, the money is created in the process of getting the things done. You know.
Okay, I think
but
enough.
You have to do it in a way.
I think enough Bitcoin talk right now. Just because we are good. Okay, so we are going to have later on Mr. Sue. I believe he is coming. Phil Gibson, aka Mr. Sue, he is joining us at 7. I know he's going to talk about Bitcoin. So this conversation, we are going to return to it once again. But even there, I don't want to focus on it too much because this is a very specialized.
We're already going to mine those Bitcoins and have nothing left to talk about.
Yes, this is a very specialized thing. What I want to return to though is this Reconciliation Council stuff. So when it comes to okay,
what does this actually entail? Just so we can paraphrase it.
The Reconciliation Council.
What is the Reconciliation Council?
Well, Gio, you have this in Canada, so you know better than I do what exactly it's all about.
Yeah. Let me just
subscribe.
I want to become Rachel Dolezal too.
Wait, by the way, even more important.
Well, you're halfway there.
James,
let me read you from the government website.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Before you read, James, you are going to have karmic problems if you don't kill that mouse. He is suffering in the garbage can. He is gonna die a slow, or she, I don't want to misgender, gonna die a slow and painful death. And this is, I'm telling you, dude, you don't want to make animals suffer needlessly. You got to take care of this. I'm being very serious.
I have nothing to do. He's already in the garbage outside of my apartment. He's not in my garbage here.
Doesn't matter. You were the one who facilitated him being in the garbage. Either take him out, like unglue him and like wash him and just take him out into the wild, or you got to kill the guy. Otherwise, you are responsible for putting a life form into a situation when they're going to suffer for a really long time before they pass away. And karmically speaking, I think we are all creatures of God experiencing ourselves as individuals. I don't want to put you on the spot here, but goddamn, this is fucking serious.
Just go and step on it.
Yeah, step on the fucking mouse and its misery.
Fucking step on him with.
Doesn't matter. You got to end the misery. Use something. There's probably hard things in your room right now. There's probably some shoes, like a piece of metal. I don't know. There's probably a piece of wood outside.
Fill a bucket or your sink with water and just drop them in there.
Yeah, water.
It's not happening at this point, Lev.
Water.
God, I mean, I was talking about like a
They
mouse.
they have the mouse traps where the mouse drowns. I don't know if that's probably worse.
I was thinking about that game Mousetrap. Do you remember there was that commercial for the game Mousetrap back in the good old 90s?
Yeah, I
All those
remember
80s, 90s commercials were epic.
Oh, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Crossfire.
People
that
just
was
watch 90s commercials on YouTube.
Yeah, because
that's a thing.
Crossfire, Jaws, all those board game commercials.
Hungry Hippo.
Oh, Hungry! I love that.
Do you remember end of the year like games day at school? I remember every year I brought the fishing one, where it's like the electronic fish pop up.
Maybe that was a Canadian thing.
I didn't have that one.
Damn. Anyways, so Truth and Reconciliation. Go from one happy topic to a depressing topic. So this in Canada, they were specifically modeled for the residential school system, and a bunch of they collected a bunch of class action lawsuits among former students, their families, their communities, blah blah blah. This was because of the Residential Schools Settlement Agreement Act, and basically it's they like to have this flowery language about having the victims have their voices heard and all of this stuff, and but basically it becomes a huge legal battle.
Only.
Yeah, and it's really the purpose of documenting the history and lasting impact of the Canadian Indian residential school system on students and their families. It may provide residential survivors an opportunity to share their experiences. But really, I mean, of course, like there's a lot of like settlements that are handed out, and it's really for collecting testimonials and things. But what they want, but the people talking about in America, like Robert Reich, the Clinton flunky, they basically want like a fucking Nuremberg style trial. That's what they think Trump is at the level of at. When they think
that's what they mean by reconciliation. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the legacy is child welfare, education, language and culture, healthcare, and also there's a lot of like archival things going on about different. They basically they compiled like a mega legal file on the different abuses that happened in the residential school system. And in South Africa, it worked much in the same way, but of course it was different because in South Africa, they basically had like an emporium on like the whole government. So I think the South African model is what they want. They want like a quote unquote restorative justice, which means that like I don't want to like
electoral retribution would be
like I don't want a white
way.
nationalist post or whatever, but it's true like about they kicked out all the farmers, and in South Africa has this like weird majoritarian affirmative action thing where the vast majority of the population is African, South African, but like they have this thing where it's like they want like affirmative action, but for the majority of the population, not like the whites that still live there. So they want a South African, and of course it was mediated by Amnesty International and all this shit, and they want the Democrat fantasy is they want to basically under a Biden term, or rather I should say under Biden Kamala, they want an internationalist entrenchment even further, to the point where the UN basically dictates, like they do to smaller countries, their policies that they set and the operations that they're doing while they're doing this Truth and Reconciliation Council. So, and some people, like I swear to God, go to Twitter if the tweets aren't deleted, but there are some Democrat operatives and people in the media that are talking about
Democrat.
Yeah, a Democrat. I love that language
Demon
of
rat.
like the Obama years, like Democrat, Dumbocrat, Obongo, one big ass mistake, America. I love that
Barack
shit.
Hussein,
Barack
Obama.
Hussein.
It's me, Barack Hussein Obongo. How you doing? I want you all to subscribe to BTR.
Remember? That's a good one. Remember
Subscribe to BTR. I'm gonna bomb so many brown children out in the Middle East. I did an office look like child's play.
And they got the Nobel Peace Prize.
either it's shooting a basket or blowing up a Syrian children's hospital. I never
drone
miss.
strikes.
I think my
blanket
Obama's
sky.
actually better when my mouth is full of food.
Remember?
Let me be clear. I never, if I have to take out some children in Syria, I'm not going to miss.
Obama's voice was better when he had his mouth full of Michelle's. Never mind.
Okay, whoa, okay.
Never mind.
I bet the Google AI is like, that is exactly what they're concentrating on. But okay.
I love how that's a conspiracy that Michelle Obama's Michael Obama.
So if I'm understanding,
anyways,
so the reconciliation is basic. To paraphrase, it's basically retribution for people that supported Trump, or retribution for the ideal or concept.
Yeah, basically here's the thing.
The proposal
when it comes to the South African example, or in a limited sense in the Canadian example, is they want to basically it's not just like, it's in a way it's like the elaborate like modeling over like the victim impact statements, but also it's more of the framing of the narrative that this horrendous
scourge on humanity.
Yeah, this horrendous scourge, this horrendous what happened was this horrendous sort of regime came and people got hurt, blah, 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 blah. And therefore, we're going to excise any
I don't need
lasting...
your respect, Michael. I don't care.
Oh, wait, by the way, I'm gonna use this opportunity to quickly say a comment by our good friend Mehran. He writes about the mouse. That mouse represents karma of Trump and the options, the karma of the system. Either a quick end to its misery or put it to the wild and let it back to office to 2024 for finish the misery of the system. Thank you,
That's
Moran.
actually a good analogy.
We're never finishing the misery of the system.
Well,
End the cycle of hell and we're all in it together.
Did you see the Hakan post, which was highlighting that news story about the guy in India who supported Trump and then he died, and then there was like an excerpt of a book about Indian spirituality, and it said like, sometimes if you pray and you're sick and like an animal dies instead of you. So maybe that's what the mouse represents.
It could be.
Instead of Trump dying, it's the mouse.
If it dies, but it's in misery in the garbage can right now. This is like Watership
like
Down.
Sympathetic magic.
You remember Watership Down when they didn't have any oxygen, the rabbits? You remember how horrible that was? I know. I'm playing.
I never saw it.
Did you guys see Watership Down before we go any further?
No.
Anybody here saw Watership Down? Geo, no?
No, I don't think I've...
Metaphor Man?
I may have.
No, nobody.
No, I've never seen it.
Okay, well, this because...
So anyways,
yes.
So the Truth and Reconciliation Council model, they basically want to frame a narrative with it that Trump was this terrible, racist dictator or something like that. And then essentially they're going to excise every single bit of his legacy, and they want to... Which again, here's the thing: it's the same with South Africa. Okay, when you talk about racism,
yeah, they want to undo Trump.
Exactly, but how do you do that? How do you undo?
So let's see. How do we undo the world peace thing? Syria.
Exactly.
Let's go through the list: Syria, Libya, Iran, North Korea.
But that's the thing.
That would be undoing the legacy, right?
Exactly, and that's the same. Yeah, right, Hakase. But that's the same model of like racism. Like, how do you get rid of like a thought or a thinking pattern that people have, and how are you going to, you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't sound very strategic. It sounds like a very wistful notion.
I think it's actually quite strategic in the U.S. and so like in terms of geo, if that kind of narrative building is transposed, well, I'm gonna go on Canada because I don't think you're gonna get South Africa anytime soon.
No, obviously.
But if that's transposed to the United States, what you're going to end up seeing is a weaponization of the Lulbertardian belief in a private company can do whatever it wants.
Yes.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what you're gonna see. Sorry, Matt. You were gonna say something?
Well, like that was literally the Republicans for like the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It can't be any more weaponized. It's already on the way out.
No, what I mean is that they're going to they're going to focus on it not from a government standpoint, but from a corporate standpoint. And that I think that you're going to see the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions effectively as expansions and outgrowths of the diversity initiatives in all of these companies. I mean, you already see, I mean, make jokes about, oh, they just do rainbow flags. It's not that, it's very much is there are initiatives and all of that stuff.
But when
so I think
Okay,
that those are going to be outgrowths.
But so like to what end? Like it's very clear that all of this stuff is not just to spread ideology just because there's an obvious
I think they're going to bar
power
people from jobs. Like you're not going to be able to get into college. You're not going to go to. I mean, there was recently. Sorry, Gio, what were you going to say?
No, I'm going to post in the chat. Then I'll read some from it. But yeah, go ahead, Hakase. This is
no. I mean, recently, article. I don't know if any else of you follow hockey. Maybe Gio does, being in Canada. But there was one of the recent draft picks of the Arizona Coyotes got, because of something he did 4 years ago, all of his college, and he was dropped by the team that drafted him. All of the colleges that were offering him things rescinded their offers. I mean, you're going to see effectively commissions that lock anyone out from any meaningful pathway towards wealth, towards status.
Yeah,
I thought this had already been happening for like 4 years.
But it'll be.
I know it's going to intensify.
Institutionalized.
It's going to intensify.
But it already is.
But it'll. What it means, it'll be institutionalized
worse.
within government itself, rather than just an intangible agreement or a discourse among people. It will now have the backing of like an extra governmental body. So here's an article by The Conversation, and this isn't a right wing pub. This is like by McMaster University, which is fairly close to where I am.
And where Alex Pantos, aka Christina Patellos, went to that naked news
anchor.
Oh
my God, Lev, the naked news chick.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry, it's not November. I don't mean to make it more. Okay.
Gio's already horny enough.
No, but Lev, you have this obsession with this girl.
I know. There's just something about her. Anyway.
So as long as our unresolved historical injustice continue to fester in the world, there will be a demand for truth. Unfortunately, there is no end to this need. The goal of the truth reconciliation is threeform: to bring out the truth, to then reconcile, blah, blah, blah. And so they talk about this language of bringing out the truth. In some forms, also called a Truth and Reconciliation Commission is in Canada. It's held public hearings to establish the scale and impact of past injustice, typically involve wide-scale human rights abuses. Over the past decades, more than 40 countries have had these. The problem is there's a continuous need for them. They never end, and they're actually being called Kleenex sessions. So, because it's endless tear jerking. Similarly, South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission was not designed to take South Africa to some idyllic utopia. After a century of colonialism and apartheid, the world has not been that would not have been realistic. It was designed to save South Africa than a nuclear power from an implosion. Wait, South Africa has nukes?
It's used to. They almost did.
Oh, with white people. Oh, sorry.
Actually, there's a theory that their nuclear program was helped by Israel, and either them or Israel detonated a nuclear weapon.
Oh, Israel! I know that country very well. That's where all.
What was it? It was like the double flash. It was the double flash test or something.
Yeah, it was like detected by satellite, and it was like initially they were like, no, there's no way that's a nuclear explosion, but then later on they were like, yeah, this was totally an explosion.
Didn't
an explosion in my pants?
Yeah, this conversation's turning into a mashugana. Anyways,
a mashugana.
Didn't
shove my cock in your ass.
Didn't Israel help destabilize Rhodesia? What happened with that? Or was it just Britain?
They helped destabilize my marriage for sure. 50 years strong I was going. We got married at 10.
I don't remember.
They destabilized it at 6.
I think
all that I know
Israel
is that
probably the
Yeah.
least.
Wasn't that just like a
enemy
massive
of
clusterfuck
Rhodesia.
in terms of the sides?
Absolutely everyone was against Rhodesia.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a completely one-sided fight.
Now, why were they so against Rhodesia? What was going on at that time?
There was
Both
claims
America.
of... Go ahead.
Both America and the Soviet Union during the middle of the Cold War opposed them, so they basically had absolutely no allies.
There was calls that Rhodesia itself was like this horrible nation that was genociding this largely native African population, when in reality it was just the what was it, the ZANU was the communist regime. So during that war, there was many contributing factors, one of which was that they didn't know how to zero the rifles. They thought if they put the rifles at the 800 mark, like for the range, that they're actually more powerful, and that's why they weren't actually hitting any of the Rhodesian soldiers. And it's just little shit like that. And they
the obvious reason for that is because they were trained on the ancient laser weapons of the great Zimbabwean Empire.
Yes,
who fought the ancient Hoteps. And you know, so we can't blame them for being so advanced.
Can we pour one out real quick for Steve Bannon, who got permanently banned on Twitter after talking about beheading someone?
Yeah, no, he legit Fed posted. That's actually something I wanted to bring up. Not only that, but there was a couple blue checks that were talking about how like what was it, January 17th or 21st, whenever if Biden wins the presidency, whenever he swears in, they're talking about Trump. Banning him off Twitter. Yeah, exactly.
They're going to ban our poster in chief. We can't let this happen. This is why Trump needs to be reelected. It's literally just so he can't get banned off Twitter.
Well, this brings up an interesting point.
Official statement.
This brings up an interesting point that I wanted to propose to everybody here. In the case, and it's great that Jugs is here because I want her to listen to this. So, in the case, worse comes to worse, and we have these truth and reconciliation councils, and anybody who says anything controversial is going to get banned or deplatformed or is not going to be able to have a job, yada, yada, yada. Here's what I imagine happening. I looked at the faces of some of the people who got elected, like some of the ultra-leftists who got elected recently, and what strikes me is that they are very much devoid of life. They are an empty vessel, and an empty vessel eventually is going to rot from the inside out. So my hope here is that whatever they end up happening, it's not going to be that sustainable of a system when it finally starts to rot and something new can grow in its place.
Well, it is kind of funny because what you're kind of seeing within the Democratic Party is that the progressives, they are abandoning most of their like actual progressive, you know, so everyone was afraid of socialism, but none of these people are socialists anymore. They're pretty run-of-the-mill Democrats.
There's nothing even remotely close to socialism.
No, here's where I would disagree. Here's where I would disagree. While they may not have the same kind of socialist policies as, let's say, countries in Europe, what they are aiming themselves to have through the power of businesses, through the power of big tech and whatever, like we were talking about before, is the ability to impose one's will upon the lives of people based on the choices that they make.
Yeah,
which
but
was something
exactly. No. Like I think that Lev is being correct in that
but that's not
these people
socialism, though.
I know
people are sick,
but it doesn't matter what the term is. It matters what the end result is.
Call them petty tyrants. Yeah. Call them petty tyrants because that's what they are. They're petty tyrants.
I mean,
it doesn't matter whether we're not going to get into a debate about what is or is not liberalism, but call them petty tyrants. And you have these people who have.
Can't call them gay.
They're gay retards.
You have these people who have aligned themselves with big tech, and I think like something like 80% of Wall Street's donations went to Biden like this time around. Like it's absurd.
And they're gonna break the rules to get into power.
Subscribe to break the rules right now. Subscribe.
I will do shots on air.
We have 1,964. We need to get a 2K today. We need to get a 2,000. Send this stream to all your friends. I'm sure that many of you have friends that are into the same things that you are. Send them this fucking stream.
Your friends that aren't fucking losers.
Exactly. This is the
They'll subscribe to BTR, subscribe to Bad Filmcast, subscribe to MK Ultra Money. Do all three, and I'm doing a shout on screen for every person that does it. You want me to have alcohol poisoning or not? Come on, guys, let's fucking go.
I'm sure there's way
We
more
said,
I
I said earlier that if James was still alive at 6, we failed as a group tonight.
Yeah,
so
it's 6:07.
come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, we got to get James into the Red Lodge. That's what we got to do.
Oh my god.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Jugs.
Remus.
What up?
Hey, Jugs.
Oh, I did warn about judo. Did I not? I did warn about judo. This was political judo, man. He just got thrown. Like that's what we saw. All momentum going one direction. This feels exactly like 2016 in reverse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except we're watching.
This is 2016 if Hillary won.
Yeah, basically, right? Yeah.
No, because I feel like if Hillary won, it would have just been like, okay, we're going back to normalcy because Trump was just a weirdo. You know, he was just Republicans are weird and
it could have
whatever.
been dismissed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Okay, by the way,
That's interesting that
Michel,
you say that.
just real quick, Michel Pemela says that he will send a super chat if you kill that mouse.
What the fuck is a super chat?
Oh my god.
Okay,
You get some money.
Yeah, we currently do not have super chats activated. I will do it as soon as possible. There's just some. I'm kind of dumb when it comes
We
to
should
how to
have
activate
text to
it.
speech.
Yes.
And then let.
Oh god.
So here's the thing.
No, I don't want to
We're gonna
Warski
do-
this shit.
we're gonna
I don't
do-
want to Warski this shit.
We're gonna do text to speech, and then Jules will live stream from his work, and so whenever a model comes in, we'll have text to speech, and it'll be like there'll be a bunch of gamer words.
Oh lord.
I love gamer words.
Get back from me, man! Get.
Oh, we got one more subscriber, 1,965. So
Let's fucking go!
And I have a ticker. You guys aren't seeing it, but it is on the screen for all the people who are watching it. I have a ticker of current subscribers, and it keeps refreshing every 40 seconds. So we are on this. We are going to get, I can feel it, we are going to get to 2,000 subscribers by today. We are doing God's work over here.
Wait,
so
These people aren't subbing to my D Live because I would know if that was happening.
Oh, you got to put a link. Put a link into your D
I
Live
did. I
in the
put
chat.
the fucking link in the chat.
Do it again. Keep doing it. We got to have a bot to put all these links in there.
So
That's
apparently,
the best way.
so Todd Trollington says $100 says Jugs is a huge misnomer. I don't know about that. I mean, I haven't gotten a good look at Jugs's face docs or other form of docs, but Jugs, do you in fact have Jugs? There's no other way to ask that.
If Jugs does not have big mommy milkies, she's a fucking fraud to me.
She sounds like Jugs sounds like
my
she
god.
could,
Wait,
she
speaking
could
of
be like one of them hairdressers, got the cigarette going and like.
Yeah,
Never
exactly.
mind.
Well,
No,
speaking
Gio's right. He's
Speaking
got
of
the
milkies, speaking of milkies, I will be right back with some milk. But
some
top-
raw milk.
yes,
Lev with the raw milk.
We'll try not to ruin everything. for you.
Milk.
Yeah, we're gonna,
And it's
that
really
meat's
just
fully
cum.
fucking ruined. Anyways, to get back on topic, fellas, maybe what would be, I don't know. It seems the election is on everyone's mind, but when you actually have to sit down and talk about it, it's like it just seems to be the same course of action. But you guys were talking about how this is like 2016 in reverse.
Yeah, that's I said that, and I've been since the night that this started. The energy has been pretty certain on Trump being the victor, and I think that's always dangerous.
I thought people were certain Biden was gonna.
Well, no, I mean on our circles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like that was my point was like we have to be careful here, being really really confident that this is a wrap already. Like I think we all expected there to be something that happened, and there was like several thousand somethings happened, and it's almost overwhelming. Like there's so many examples, and I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing is even if it's exposed that this was like fraud, not necessarily from the perspective of the courts, but from the perspective of the populace, like the people's opinion, I think people are kind of maybe underestimating like the fact that people may just not give a shit that he got cheated out. You know what I mean? Like good, like there's a whole contingent of people that are like, good. I'm glad he was like, one, I'm good he was cheated. I don't want him to win. Or just a straight up like, oh, if cheating, like you're telling me that you couldn't even cheat as good as that guy? Like,
yeah, that's another response I'm getting from people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
No.
actually like way too much of a nuanced opinion for most people to have.
No, most people.
Most people just like most actual just Trump supporters will go, I support Trump. Trump said it. He's right. If he says something, I agree with it.
Yeah,
If
but
he
that's
does
not the
something, I
issue. The
support it.
issue isn't whether his supporters will believe him, which they obviously will. They almost always do, no matter what he says. Like he could literally just like lie and they'll still believe him. So, I think it's a little bit more of like, if for this to be effective, for anything to really happen here, you have to have some members of your opposition empathizing with you to a degree. They need to go, you know what? They're right. Like, this is bullshit. That's not fair. Like, what did you do here?
So here are the problems in doing that. Here are the problems, and I've done it with a few people I know, where if we're talking about narrowing down a video to absolutely prove beyond a doubt, yes, some fuckery is afoot over here. It's difficult where you have a news story. A couple of things could be said. Number one, it could be said, well, this is just like, even like these 20 that you're presenting, like think of how big the country is. And we, like, I don't know if this is verified. Maybe somebody made this story up. Or they could say, well, I heard that there were, Republican ballot watchers, like poll watchers in this place. But they didn't let the other people in just because it was too full or whatever. Like, there are always things that could be said by people to say that it's not the case that people are making it out to be. What would be the ultimate smoking gun, let's say, to prove it otherwise? Because honestly, I've been through this so much as far as not wanting to waste time on any kind of story that will be able to fall apart. I really am after the most
smoking gun.
Yeah.
The smoking gun would be something like, hi, we are in Pennsylvania where 10,000 people who died 12 years ago have voted. These are the ballots. These are their death certificates. Yeah. Like you like if you walk up with legitimate, like, okay, here are people who are not residents of Nevada and who have voted. Here are people who have died and who are voted. Like that kind of hard evidence, more than just stats and like, this doesn't look right. Like, a lot of this is just, this doesn't look right. If you have those kinds of hard stats, then that's kind of how...
For people, what you should do, though, is you should have a guide where it actually teaches you, okay, go to this government website, put in this name, and here you can look up...
Those tweets are already out there.
But I'm not talking about the tweets. I'm talking about like the actual how-tos, not the videos, because they can say, "Oh, this is doctored." How do I know this is not just like an edit that somebody did putting that person's name in there?
Oh no, I mean like there are tweets that are like, "This is the website to check death certificates in Michigan. This is the website to check ballots being received and counted for a particular person. Cross-reference the dates of birth and the names."
And there's a guy, Matt Brainerd, who made a tweet. I don't know if the GoFundMe is still up, but he was almost at his goal, but it costs money to do that with those like data banks, I guess. I don't know. He's been trying to he has like the resources he wants to like.
Was he the one who PayPal shut down? Was he the one who was complaining about that?
Yeah.
Someone had like $200,000 in donations, and then they posted about, they got a warning of, we've frozen withdrawals from this account.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that tweet.
What would you say to people who would say that the votes that came in, while a lot of these newly found votes were for Biden, the reason why they were for Biden is because all the Trump supporters in the very beginning, they voted by physically going there, and almost none of the Trump supporters voted through the mail. That's the primary reason why
but
we've been seeing.
100%?
Is it 100%? Okay, can we actually have a Jamie pull up the specific document? And again, even better...
My contention, though...
Yeah. Well, hold on, just real quick. Pull up a document with that 100%, not only of a screenshot, but also of a how-to, where I could send it to anybody to actually check on the government website.
As a Canadian, and this is like the rare time I will ever defend the current Canada, but you fucking Americans, what is wrong with you? Just have...
We're a banana republic. That's what's wrong with us.
Yeah, no, of course, but have your fucking ID when you go to vote. have your ID, your driver's license, or your birth certificate.
No, but the whole thing,
And it to the, or your in Canada we have health cards.
But the whole thing today with COVID is that's out the window.
There's
about
like 3 million like actual Americans that don't have ID
through the system. You have to type
but
in your
a lot of that information, Geo, is you can find it. I mean, it doesn't take too long to find it. I mean, a lot of that information is public.
No, but this is what I mean. Like, why can't you have voter IDs? Like, why? Because you need illegals to vote? Like, remember, that was a few years ago. Nobody talks about that anymore.
So that the party machines in cities, so that the party machines in cities can churn out votes. They've been doing it since 1830. They were doing it before Jackson. They've been doing it since. This isn't a new thing. I mean, the party machines, that's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, the Illinois former Democratic governor who got in on fraud, like, admitted that, like, yeah, Chicago's full of shit. We just pump out numbers. The New York Times did a whole thing in 2012. That whole article about how vote by mail is bullshit.
So from the
France
beginning, it was
banned it in
sus.
the fucking 70s. It's been sus for 200 years, my friend. This is the real return to tradition right here.
Like,
party machines, contested elections.
Yeah.
Like,
you have Caustic Dreamer and others.
Yeah, Mikasa's right. Like,
it's because black people can't get ID. Oh no!
No, that's unironically the reason that they use. Like, they say voter ID is racist because minorities can't get IDs apparently.
But by definition, Canada is trying to be like the least racist country in the world, even though it's bullshit. But it's like we have fucking voter ID laws. Like, Sweden has voter ID laws.
Everyone does. Sweden,
the whole world.
France, Switzerland, they all do.
Australia,
half of Europe bans vote by mail.
Australia's a bad example. Apparently, Australia's still pretty.
The problem is that we're living in a context of COVID. Therefore, voter ID or vote in mail is automatically justified. Like, you can't. It's basically impossible to argue with a normie saying
it was the perfect storm, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't say to them, mail-in voting was wrong because they're like, but what about the pandemic? And then you have to do 14,000 hours of explaining why all of that, it takes forever.
Then you have to explain why it's overblown and blah, blah. Yeah.
You have to.
No, it's not. Okay.
People say that Trump would have won without COVID, and he really would have. Even if, like,
about Apex's opinion on the pandemic. I forgot about that.
No, the pandemic's real. The problem is, and it's a bad virus. The problem is that what you should have is that you can't, with a straight face, try to sit there and be like, it's okay. Like, if anyone, because like I normally am in, New York City. If you've been paying attention to that, all right, peace, Mads. If you were paying attention to that, a lot of, like, the Orthodox Jewish communities were going, why can't we have temple services?
Why can't we go to temple?
Why can't we go to temple when you allowed all of the protests to happen?
Right.
It's like, at a certain point, there's a level of hypocrisy. It's like, you could have literally had an election week. Like, you could have had, like, from Monday to Thursday, like, the voting booths are open. There's nothing against that. There's nothing stopping that from happening.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't think
it's so frustrating, man.
But
I know. I agree with you, Remus.
The pretense is there. They can automatically dismiss that as mail-in ballots, and mail-in ballots. It's like a magic phrase that it guarantee. It just all of the weird shit that you're seeing with votes popping up for this dude,
or
they're just gonna be like, it was mail-in ballots. It was mail-in ballots. It was mail-in ballots. They don't have to think.
Yeah.
They just go mail-in ballots.
Wait, Apex, is your opinion, the chat wants to know, has your opinion changed on the virus, or do you think it's...
No, it's real. It's significantly deadlier than the flu. I mean, I
guess the question is, how significant?
Is it really? I don't...
Yes. Yeah, it's between 20 to 50 times deadlier than the flu.
I mean, look, the flu doesn't leave permanent respiratory scarring. So
yeah, no.
That's
again,
fair.
Remember, it is literally a version of SARS. Like, this is a version of SARS. It is significantly deadlier.
Yeah, but you don't hear about the permanent scarring or all the scare fucking stories about.
You do with certain circles. Like,
Yeah,
Really?
you do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the problem, well, one is that the virus is literally a year old. You're not going to see that long. There is no long term because we've only been it for 12 months. But the problem is the fact that you can't treat you can't treat a virus seriously when it like it's been instrumentalized, you know? Like at a certain point you have to go like were the George Floyd protests understandable? Sure. Were they justified? Not at all. You know, like
but what
you
I
can't
mean
do
is,
that during a
like-
pandemic.
No, but what I mean is like, I hear conflicting stories like about the real totals of the death rate is like significantly less than the
Yes,
No,
I hear.
so-
And the
so
flu.
that's-
So okay, well, all right.
No,
So it's
that's-
more deadly than the flu, or it's equally deadly to the flu, whatever. Okay, so it's setting a precedent now. What's going to stop them from keeping us on lockdown
well, you
when
know
flu
that new
season
Michael Bay
happens?
movie that's coming out?
Oh God, yes.
Hear about fucking terrifying, right?
what that's
Wait,
coming
Wait,
out?
what is it about?
It's a pandemic movie.
It's basically like COVID. So I shouldn't say
Oh,
it.
the one that Michael Bay produced.
Rona 2030.
Yeah.
Where-
Michael Bay produced it.
And yeah, that like basically they're going to go like full on totalitarian, like everyone has to stay inside at all times or else they're going to shoot you. Like total pandemic.
We have
mode.
a comment from our great patron Caustic. He says everybody in my area who got it were just bedridden for a couple of days and couldn't eat or drink.
I know people who've had it. They were only bedridden for.
There was a
Right.
similar thing with Michael Scotto, our great astrologer, Michael Scotto.
I'm worried about myself, obviously, but like I always
Hmm.
say, personally, I don't want to get it for obvious reasons, as you can see on my webcam. Obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I mean, pandemics happen fairly frequently throughout.
Right.
Ironically,
throughout
I
history.
literally just got a study notification from Nature on my computer. Okay, but you know, they happen all the time. You know, like there's, you know, we live in this weird scenario where we've kind of forgotten how much, you know, pandemics happen throughout history.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they happen every 50 years and sometimes they wipe out 10% of the population. You know, I mean, COVID it's significantly deadlier than the flu by at least an order of magnitude. But, you know, does that mean that you do lockdowns? Like, one of the things that, you know, media people don't get is that lockdowns were never designed to be a long-term thing.
No.
Like epidemiologists don't defend lockdowns as long-term things.
But
A
see, the
lockdown
reason
is
they're doing
supposed
that
to buy
is
you
because
time.
you have to read
The
Giorgio
media-
Agamben
No,
to realize
I know.
that.
That's
No,
the break the
no,
rules
the
drinking
reason-
game. Every time
the
Gio
classic.
mentions
Why-
Giorgio Agamben.
Someone say a drink? All right, fine, I'll do it. You've
Yeah,
convinced
no,
me.
like you know, you go from a lockdown is here to buy us time to we're going to do nothing. We're just going to keep the lockdown because it serves our political purposes.
Right.
Like,
What are the
That's
death
the
numbers that they're saying now?
The death.
Like,
so you're
percent.
seeing
What's the,
it's
well, how many
about
people have
200
died?
220K in the US, about 1.2 million globally.
Okay. Call me horrible, but that's
But-
not that many people.
I agree.
Considering-
I 1000% agree with
considering
you.
what is happening. Like, that's a stadium.
Also, let's consider the fact that people are going into hospitals and they're dying from getting staph
They're dying from
infections. They're
being
dying from
American.
pneumonia. They're dying from being in a hospital.
How many people
Like,
are there in the world?
they're
Like
also
8
dying
billion?
from
and we've lost a million.
American diet. The
No, but
general.
it's relative
Yeah,
to the
no,
total
so
of people who
obviously
got
things,
the
infected. right?
pandemic is only one thing out there. So
Yeah.
basically all of the estimates seem to be going around about a 0.7% death rate. So about 7 people out of every 1,000 who get it will die.
That's
So
really
you know,
low.
I mean, it's,
I don't know
it's,
about this. I don't
that's
know,
not
though.
that's
It's-
not really. No, I mean, Gio, that is like 0.7 is pretty much where all of the estimates go globally.
But I thought it was like
you know.
1% though. That was the
No,
death rate.
1% was because those were like very particular Italian towns full of old people. That was too high. 1% is
Oh,
a little too high.
0.7. You mean 0.7 off? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm terrible at math.
0.7.
I'm-
7,
don't
not
worry about
yeah.
it.
I mean,
I'm-
but to be fair, 0.7% times 320 million is 2.1 million people, which has an economic side effect. You know, like a lot of the economic effects early on were because mobility, people stopped going out before the lockdowns happened.
Do you know about this GFAS is saying about this mink.
The mink thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard, like, at Apex, we've had this discussion about how, like, viruses, when they mutate, they get more virulent, but they get less deadly. Like,
so viruses can mutate in a variety of ways. They can get deadlier. There are viruses that have gotten deadlier through mutation. There are viruses that have gotten less deadly through mutation.
Right.
And there are a lot of mutations that don't really do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like if there's a whole lot of strains of COVID, you know, whereas, you know, most of them don't do anything. You know, they don't help the virus get into a cell. They don't help they don't help it.
Then what's the point of the mutations? Like,
they're random?
Just,
you know, I mean,
they just happen.
They're flukes by their nature, interacting with other.
It's throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, man.
Yeah, you know.
Gotcha.
If you believe in evolution,
crash
then
course
we came from.
Is that
okay? That makes sense.
Genetic material is copied in a cell. There are errors that are made. They're not all captured, and you know, effectively, most of the COVID mutations don't really do anything. You know, they're just media scaremongering.
Right.
Whether or not the mink thing is real, still up for debate.
Caustic.
Wait, so for those who don't know, what happened with the minks?
Caustic what?
Jesus Christ, dude.
What happened?
Oh, Lord.
What if,
I'm not repeating that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Suicide,
I'll repeat it.
What?
Wait, where? I didn't even see. What did he say?
It's too small.
Chat.
It's too small for the algorithm to probably pick up. So let's leave it as it is.
What
it's
if
out.
the white suicide rates are a certain
No,
population?
don't do it.
Group.
Don't do it.
Well, I'm not going to say the term. I'm going to certain
Okay.
Brahmin caste identity group.
We're already skating on thin ice with the
Base
censorship.
check. Yeah, sorry, that was my bad from earlier.
By the way, James, here's an idea. You can go outside, you can get that fucking mouse, and you could give him some of your alcohol so that he'll die a painless death when you chop his fucking head off. How about that?
Well,
Apex,
He's already in the garbage, dude. It's not happening.
So what? What's wrong with the garbage?
He's drowning in garbage.
Are you afraid of the garbage?
I'm just not getting my hands dirty over a fucking mouse.
He caught a mouse in one of those glue traps, and he doesn't want to kill it. It's still.
James,
he's
already in the garbage outside.
Now I understand the bloodlust in Lev's eyes. I get it. It's like,
but anyway,
garbage outside.
No, it's not blood. No. Yeah, it's not bloodlust. It's mercy.
So
I'm trying to be merciful here.
Because
I had nothing to easily kill him. Okay.
Lev, you keep.
You know what?
Listen,
you
the mouse is good. It's probably already
objects.
dead. Don't worry about it.
It's probably not. It's probably just
James is already.
I do
want to receive his call.
James has already moved on.
Yeah. No, this is already like the fucking fourth mouse I've done this to over the years.
God.
Oh man,
as far as, like, what,
this is gonna accumulate. So when you go into the afterlife, the mouse are gonna glue
I remember
you
one
to,
time
like
there was this huge rat in the garden, and my old man chopped it with a shovel in half, but it still kept like going. Like they see, unlike mice, rats like they scream when you kill them.
Oh yes.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But anyways.
That's why it's better to kill things clean. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It just makes everyone less upset.
The Japanese.
It's like when I went duck hunting once. I had to like this one. I swear, this geese. It was like the fucking Terminator. I had to literally blow its head off. I couldn't. It was terrible.
Yeah.
By the way,
it took 3 shots of 12 gauge.
Animals are just super hardcore. Like they make us look like such babies.
Yeah, I know.
You get shot once and in any part of your body, and you're probably gonna.
You're gonna
have a really
Remus,
obvious.
Just shoot him in the leg. Just
shoot him in the leg, right? It won't make him sad at all. Meanwhile, animals eating 14 shots still running. Yeah.
What's your opinion on vitamin D plus zinc for the pandemic?
It's inconclusive. You know, I mean, there's evidence for it. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. I mean, most people are vitamin D deficient anyways, so you should probably just take the supplement anyways.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're gonna. I mean, obviously, if you down an entire bottle of supplements, you'll probably get weird Chinese chemical in your body, you know, and you'll just die from that. But you know, taking just take the D and zinc. Like
some of the Vitalist Twitter people recommended for ZMA just to snort it, bro.
I have Zima, yeah.
Well, no, ZMA is good, yeah.
Though some people were saying it's better to take the zinc and the B6 and all that separately as opposed to buying ZMA. So I don't really know.
I mean, it depends. Some of them like in the individual like the individual nutrients are like more soluble with fat versus water, you know? So like some of them you should eat with a meal, some of them you should have just with a glass of water.
ZMA empty stomach, if I recall, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure you're right there, Gio.
And take it at night, or else you're gonna like fall asleep. Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like, just get high quality supplements and follow the instructions. You know, I mean, they're not gonna hurt you. Just don't like drink an entire bottle of them, because you know, again, you'll get some like rare metal poisoning from whatever Chinese factory have bottled the supplements.
That's why you got to take the InfoWars Survival Shield X2.
The cleanest product.
You gotta listen to everything Alex Jones says. You take it all for face value. You take it all as truth. That's how you live your life.
Yeah. By the way, you guys.
What about the other stuff with the pandemic about like the various reports of like blood clotting and things like that?
Oh, dude, I've been hearing all this crazy shit. Like all these people have all these different symptoms.
Well, it's so basically the distinction that happened between the original SARS virus versus this new one. You know, you'll see the name SARS-CoV-2 or whatever.
Right,
is basically that the receptor that it uses to get into cells mutated, so it can now infect pretty much the entire body. So that's why you're seeing strokes. That's why in people as young as 28, 25, you're seeing people getting diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at 35, blood clots, etc. So it can pretty much infect the entire body.
But how
it's inflammatory, clearly. It just causes your body to just
and one of the problems also... What's up, Gio?
No, but then how is there a way to gauge like who will be more adversely affected with blood clotting or with whatnot than...
So generally there are general preconditions. So if you have autoimmune disorders already, if you have asthma, allergies, being overweight, men are significantly more likely to suffer from it than women, due to two reasons. One, men just on general have slightly less effective immune systems, and two, it appears that the virus can actually be stored in the balls.
I remember at the beginning of all this, I remember seeing things they were going to treat men with estrogen to treat it.
Which was absurd.
Virus is stored in the balls.
It literally is.
Exactly. Virus is literally, it can infect testicles, but it cannot infect.
So what you need to do is you need to go outside in the sun and suntan your balls. This is something that I learned from metaphysical.
Smoke a cigarette while you do it.
Just keep jerking off until you
Chain
fucking
smoke while
pump
you
the
do it.
virus out of your balls.
But is it rather... Is being overweight itself a risk factor, or is it the conditions that are associated with like such as hypertension and diabetes?
It's unclear. It
like my contention, like if a younger, like I'm 28 years old, and I'm obese, but like if a 50-year-old person who is obese has it, like am I going to fare better than like? I know it's totally fucking
probably.
No. Generally, you will. You'll generally be doing better.
Like that's a totally self-serving question, but you know.
No, I know. Yeah, but like in terms
don't
of
bullshit me,
if you were to plot,
bullshit me. Don't.
You know, I'm not going to. Most of the variation, if you were to plot like fatality rates versus the median age of countries, most of the variation is explained by age. Age is a really big factor. It, you know, you will on average fare better than someone than 50-year-old Gio in an alternate timeline dealing with this.
But I have people in my family who are older and vulnerable. Like my aunt is above the age of 50 and she has MS, so I don't, you know what I mean?
My mom.
I'm a fucking hermit to begin with. What am I talking about? I'm a total fucking neat hermit. Why am I even worried about people having freedom? I don't have freedom. So fuck everybody else.
Face check.
We got Hotep Sophia here. Hotep Sophia. How
What
are
up,
ya?
Sophia?
But thank you, Apex. I do appreciate because you would study this. So, and we have our good friend Hotep. So thank you. Yeah. Damn, what am I saying? Hotep Sophia, thank you for coming once again. What is your opinion on black segregated schools, and are they based or red pilled or not? That's what we were talking about.
Oh man, right out the gate.
Let's fucking go.
I'm trying to stay calm. It's too early for me to start going off. I think.
I do have a devil's
election takes. Give us your spiciest election takes. And by the way, I wanted to ask the panel because I'm Canadian, but do they know they don't have a set timeline of when they're going to actually quote unquote count everything and announce a winner? Is it going to go to the courts or?
It's going to the courts.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Sorry, look, I have the vouch angle right now. Is it gonna go to the courts? These fucking chuds.
Well,
the fucking Trump.
Bill Maher was talking. Bill Maher was talking about it going to the courts. I believe a couple of weeks ago. So I think this is something that everybody's already.
You mean Bill Maher going to the courts for sexual harassment?
I think the Pennsylvania state legislature already said they're going to audit all the ballots, and they'll probably throw away like 50,000 from Philadelphia, and you're going to see a massive riot.
Pennsylvania did talk about recounting already.
Yeah, but, no, the state legislature said that, but more than just recounting, they're going to straight up audit everything. Georgia's recounting, Arizona is in striking distance.
Yeah, imagine if every state did that.
Oh my
you know what's ironic is that basically, like, if you look at Nate Silver's model from before the election and you put in like he just wins Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina, the outcome was 279 to 259, which would be exactly what happens if Trump wins Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Ironically, Nate Silver may not be as dumb as we think he is.
I still think Nate Silver is going to kill himself on cam.
I hope he does.
Nate
Ashmore. He's got
I really
to go.
hope he does.
I think that what we can take away from this is that now we know what it's like to live through a color revolution. I have been studying them for a while, and I can only imagine what it's like to be a Ukrainian and have them do
or
this
a Belarusian
twice. Oh, you're right, exactly.
Yeah.
Brazilian. I mean, just
Bolivia,
to have them, you can watch the corruption in live time, and observers around the world think that you're crazy. Like, it's you know, I have thing I've ever.
It's like
you
a
get friends who are like, it's absolutely absurd. You have friends like I never thought I'd see the day when like my friends from Central America and India and Russia are going like, yeah, this is some bullshit, and all of my American friends are being like, oh yeah, no, this is good. It's fine. This is great, you know.
But then, the Americans are like, we have like how many billions of people,
liberals.
And you mean to tell me you can't count your votes? I was like, dang, India
it's
But then yet the media like is fundamentally denying.
Yeah.
Because I think there's some kind of religion. There is a religiosity going on in terms of the legitimacy of the system that Colbert was crying about.
I was about to say. I was about to talk about him.
Yes.
He was
By the way,
most...
we'll talk about him. But look at these comments. Nate grout tile under the urinal floor, and Super Iron Bob, our friend of the show, says Brown versus Board of Education was forced colonization of the black community into the white school system. Oh my God, based.
Who said that?
Based.
Who said that?
Super Iron Bob in the chat.
Oh, facts.
Oh, see, it's not racist because we have a black person that said that.
Let me go on a tangent about Brown versus Board of Education for 1 minute. The NAACP, which was all white people basically at the time, came
allegedly
in and
white. No, I'm not getting into that.
Don't do it, Gio. Don't do it.
Redacted. They promised these people they were just going to get them equal facilities. They only wanted equal facilities.
Right.
Then at the last minute, they said, no, well, you're going to integrate. And the people were like, no, we don't want integration. We want equality, not integration. And they literally forced integration on the people. They forced integration on us through Brown versus Board of Education when in fact we did not want it. It is the most egregious abuse of power within the black community, I think, ever. Like, people just did not want this, and then they were literally forced into it. It's absolutely insane.
What was that?
People have no idea.
What was that?
I don't know how many hate crimes were caused by that.
Yeah, think about that.
Well, what was
Seriously.
that situation with that photo of that little black girl who was being escorted into the school, the white school, for the first time with the military around? Like, I remember the photo, but I don't remember the context of that.
Well, that they forced integration. They forced her to go to this school, and the white people, of course, were visibly angry, which they probably had a right to be.
But did she or her parents want her to go to that school, or what was the situation with them?
Well, you know, a lot of these people were communists, so you have to remember that. These
and a lot of parents will just use their children as, you know, they dress them up as, you know,
And we know they did it in that time because if you look at the entirety of the civil rights movement is basically staged. So like everything was just about optics. So much about America is just optics that it's really annoying, like to go back and look at the actual situations and say, this was literally all about optics. This has nothing to do with whatever they say it's about. It was about literally just getting the right pictures. Because my dad
wouldn't you say that's what's happening right now?
Exactly.
It's not about what's real. It's about what people think.
Right.
Baudrillard did not miss once. He didn't fucking miss once.
I will explain. This is how I was telling my daughter earlier, my oldest. She's like 13, and you know that whole TikTok generation is wild anyway. But I was like, really, all of this media stuff is designed to disenfranchise or dishearten Trump supporters, because if you look at all of the votes that Biden allegedly got, it's 70 million. So I would say 1/3 of them are fake. And then another 1/3 of them are people who voted against Trump. And then another 1/3 of them are people who actually voted for Biden. So they know that they have those people under control. Those people are pacified anyway. What they're really trying to get rid of is the 68 million actual Trump voters. They're trying to dwindle down his support to probably about 30 million so that they can actually just take over in a full coup. And that's like the goal. But
did you see
it's not going to work.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, did you see there was a set of Spanish language television commercials recently, interviews in Miami where you basically Latinos are basically like, I will die before this country becomes communist. Like,
of course, they left those countries.
Yeah,
They're
that
not for a
Cuban
reason.
dude?
Okay,
That Cuban dude?
I
They're
said
Catholic.
this,
They're pro-life. Like, come on.
Letter blood.
And my family is my mom is Jewish and we're from Russia, and we left for exactly the same fucking reason, because we don't want to live under the system.
No, but I made a similar comment on a thread on my profile. Was like the amount of just straight up unironically, I've seen more unironic racism in my group chat of purportedly liberal friends from college in the last 3 days against Latinos than I have seen in a year on any particular Discord server.
Oh, they're not
they're
not arguing about black men, because
I was about to say,
that was
it's literally the amount
Latinos are the
of
traitors.
deport them all and build the wall.
What?
Really?
Oh no, literally all of my friends from college are in this group chat and they're just like, Latinos are worthless, they should have been we wish Trump had deported them. Et cetera, et cetera.
Mask off, full on mask off.
I literally, that was the moment where I was like, I cannot associate. For disclosure,
dude, they're stealing racism.
I largely, Gio knows this. I largely
stealing everything.
The left for a long time.
I can't believe this.
No, it was a full mask off. I realized behind all the pleasantries, these people are just petty tyrants. They're just driven by resentment and it's absurd.
They don't belong in polite society, because that's just evil. That's pure
And ironically,
evil.
they're trying to block. They're the ones who define polite
didn't have my
society,
earphones
and they're
on. What
blocking
happened?
everyone else from it.
Well, another thing
Gio?
is.
Yeah, what were you guys talking about? I had to.
Oh no! Basically, quickly, I was talking about how I have seen more racism against Latinos in my group chat of purportedly liberal friends from college in the last 3 days than I've seen on any given Discord server.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like it mimics the American. All politics is mimicking the American prison system, include the cheek busting and everything. So it's like
that's a good take.
The Norteños can get along with the whites, but then nobody gets along with the blacks. So
what would be, by the way, Hotep Sophia, what would be the explanation for people who would, let's say that, a lot of congressional races are being won by the Republicans right now. So how come, if they were in it to cheat, how come they didn't fill in the Democrats?
And then Nancy Pelosi's going to make some prison.
Right. Okay. So this is my personal take on it. I think that, and this is with also something else I was going to say, people don't care. They literally don't care. They literally voted against Trump. So as
Exactly.
long as it's not Trump, they don't really care about the Congress,
I also
the Senate,
think-
or any of
yeah.
that. They just
I
don't
think
care.
if people like if they found definitive evidence of vote tampering, then people like literally if Creepy Joe wins, they're not gonna fucking care. They're like,
Exactly.
well, we had to do everything we had to get rid of evil fascists.
but
Well,
what
first of
literally
all,
that.
there is
That's
legitimate
why.
proof. There's
That's what I'm
tons of
saying.
legitimate proof. Like
That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
I
the
wish
thing
Trump
They're not going to
was
give a
what-
shit. They're
I
going to
wish
be
Trump
glad
was
that
a
they
fascist
cheated.
because if he was a
Like-
fascist, then maybe we would have got some actual fucking more stimulus checks.
If he
Also-
was a
also,
fascist,
the
they would
idea
already
We
that-
have
gotta
been
vote
killing
out
people.
fascism. Yeah, why don't you think about what you just said for a second? Vote out.
All right,
That's
all
right.
right.
You
I'm
can
gonna pull
vote
up the
out
document.
fascism.
Maybe fascism
you
to
get
read.
one
But
vote.
wait, Apex, you had something to say?
No, I mean, like it's you're gonna see where they're gonna throw out the fraudulent votes, and like one of the reasons why they didn't win in Congress is also because looking at the fraudulent votes, there's like 4 fucking cities, and they all came from them. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of other districts elsewhere.
Well,
but
no,
you're
there's
gonna
a lot
see-
of there's a lot of places where there's like this same kind of fraud, and what I'm actually surprised is they're getting ready to expose the fraud with the voting the machines too, because this lawsuit
the
or whatever
software,
that
yeah.
the RNC is bringing up is going to actually expose Rhonda's uncle and he who shall not be named as the owners of these machines. So it's really getting ready to expose like
Wait, are you referring
everything.
to Obama? As
no. It
Yeah,
starts
no,
with
no,
an S,
it's-
ends with an
but
S.
you're-
Oh,
like
They
Remus,
own
you're
the
gonna
voting
end up
machines.
seeing like if this turns out the way where Trump pulls it effectively like through the courts, like you're gonna see riots that make the
Yeah.
60s look like a
It'll-
nice dream.
It'll make
Yeah.
68 in the Collège de France look like fucking the Tea Party.
Base check?
Not the Tea Party, but you know what I mean.
And by the way, before we go any further, dlive.com/breaktherules. I posted the link in the chat. We got to make sure that we do not get censored by big tech, which is why if there is anybody out there who is not subscribed to us on DLive, go to DLive, subscribe to us on DLive. We gotta
DLive
do
is
it.
the place to go if you want to say slurs and not get banned.
Hell
so.
yeah.
Wow.
Ooh,
And
Eli.
James really
Unless
needs that.
I
He really
do.
needs
Ralph
that.
doesn't
It's
like
true.
you, then he'll get you banned. So
I need
is
to be able to
true.
say retard on stream without getting banned.
Oh, is that considered a slur now?
It has. been.
Yes.
You'll get
Yeah.
banned for saying retard
That's so
on Twitter.
sad.
That's
Come
the
on.
only slur
on
I
Twitter,
need.
you'll
They-
get banned for
You
saying
get
retard.
you get banned on Twitter if you don't put an asterisk.
Retard is the
in.
only slur I need to be able to say on
I don't.
stream.
I
and
don't know,
not-
guys. I've definitely written that word without.
I would
the
go. I
asterisk
would
and
delete
not got
those
banned.
tweets. in
Yeah,
my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, like
The-
people just disappear.
The
randomly.
golden rules these days for Twitter: no slurs and nothing that's even remotely can be considered a threat. I don't care how obvious it is you're joking. If you have anything that's remotely threatening, delete it because you're gonna get banned. I have.
Yeah.
Or
Also,
I did a
good
follow
way-
anything
Friday today.
remotely like mean about women, you cannot talk about women on Twitter.
Also,
That's
a
I
good
did.
way
I did
is
a follow
to
Friday today
preemptively-
for 8 people that I'm mutuals with that got banned recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
they're
all of the
purging.
accounts.
It's a huge
Yeah.
No,
purge right
a
now.
good way to protect yourself also is if you get into an argument and you might have said something, just report the other person first.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We're in that.
Or
we've
block.
gotten
I
there.
do the
Wow.
block.
I
thing.
do
No,
think
no, no,
though.
no,
Everybody.
I do
They can
think
still
to
report-
Support,
they
they're
can still
not going to
report
do
your
anything.
profile.
Right?
to
Just-
echo
Even if
my
you
friend, the
block them, they
posting
can
menace,
still
but
report
I
you.
think if you report someone, you should have to DM your home address to them first before you report their tweet.
No, but I mean, like, if they report you frivolously, I don't know.
Nothing happens to them.
Because these
Nothing.
fucking people, they literally like, if you respond to
These
like
people are
certain
sick.
lefty like resist Twitter
Yeah,
people,
they are sick.
they'll be like, I'm blocking, reporting you. It's like, you're reporting me over what? I said I disagree with you. Like, you're
That's why you
fucking
just
bot.
block
You
them.
gotta
Gio,
block
that happened to me
everyone.
last
Okay.
year.
Really?
The
You have to
whole
block
last
everyone
year,
on
that's why I
Twitter
got
that
banned.
even mildly upsets you.
But were
Because
you
there's
saying
no
anything
knowing
like
how sick these
inflammatory
people are
or
going to be.
Let me tell you how you know who to block. Pronouns in bio.
Yeah.
Block.
Opinion
That's the
discussion.
Hotep theory. You just block everyone with the pronouns in the bio.
I
Don't
won't say
respond to
everyone
them.
because I
See,
have
I don't-
learned
I don't-
over
I don't
the
agree with
past
this.
couple
I-
years there are actually a lot of cool people that do have pronouns in the bio. But you are right, Sophia, because most of them are fucking.
I feel like you have to know your enemy. Like you
Yeah.
can't just block everything. You must.
Yeah.
You must know what the enemy believes.
Hotep
You have to
Jesus
judge by
has,
their
like,
tweets too. If
like
they're being
50,000
woke,
I'm blocked by
that's,
Hotep
automatic.
Jesus.
Like,
Why are
Yeah,
you
I'm
lying about
blocked.
Hotep Jesus?
I'm blocked by
You're blocked?
Hotep Jesus.
Oh,
because I called him a
can't get
grifter.
Unblock anybody. Oh well. I
There,
mean,
there
of
are
course.
many, there are a good amount of
I've been
people that
following
Grifting is the
are,
Hotep way. I wish I had a grift. Good lord.
there are plenty of non-PC good shit posters I know that I've seen pronouns in the bio. So again, I always think right away they're going to be a loser, but there are some exceptions. I will say that. So
Yeah, no,
I do bully most though.
I think the only people I've ever blocked on Twitter were Zionists because they were just ridiculous. I'm like, people, relax. I just said that I think it's a little bit fucked up, some of the things that have happened. Just instantly, you even write the word Israel, you just get...
I mean,
I block anyone that seems like there's a chance that they're going to report me for some stupid shit. Because, like, with these sites, if you get mass reported, it doesn't matter what it is. You're going to get your fucking banned. That's
I would just say real quick that I think that a lot of the pro-Israel people, they could be their own fucking worst enemy when it comes to even like the mood. Because if you are not allowed to criticize certain things, it's only going to foment, and more people are going to be asking,
baby.
You know, like it's so
find
fucking obvious.
Who rules over you? Find out who you can't criticize.
No, but I just it was crazy. Like I don't remember exactly what the context was. It was a very long time ago. But like these people just like it was like 7 or 8 people immediately just, first of all, calling you an anti-Semite for having like a mild, like maybe don't kill that guy type opinion, you know what I mean? Like something very basic. It didn't take much for them to just like immediately like assume you wish for genocide upon my people, and I'm like, I'm not at all. Not at all, but it doesn't matter. So I was just like, okay, I need to not see this anymore.
Again, eventually I would want to have a conversation about this. Personally, I need to learn a lot more things as well. But the point here is that what I would have done in their place, being a Jewish guy, is that I would have said, okay, let's take the time out to just document everything that we know. I want to get to the bottom of exactly what you're talking about and see if there are any loose ends. Like if there are any things where it's not been verified as much, so things are murky, so we can't really say this one way or another, or is this something that's actually really, really substantial, and what does it mean in the grand scheme of things? What would have been the alternative to yada, yada, yada? Like, that would be my way of approaching any of these questions. The fact that people are coming to you and are instantly on the offensive about it, it's such a stupid way to go about it. You know, it's, I don't even know what to say.
And this was like early on, so like I was like, you know, I was younger. I wasn't, you know, running. It was just like some banal conversation about, I don't know, some shit that had happened, like some fucking, you know, some Palestinian dude got iced by some guy or whatever, you know. And these people had nothing to do with it. Like they weren't even there. They weren't in the conversation. It was just like all of a sudden, like a bunch of people with Hebrew in their names just went at it. I was just like, what's happening?
They have the triple parentheses to make sure
and legitimately that's the only people that I've ever blocked on Twitter. The only time that I've ever been like, okay, this is just obnoxious. Just shut up.
Well, I was blocked by and I think yes, I was blocked by that furry guy that we had on. The only reason why I'm bringing him in on one more time, I understand. The only reason why I'm bringing him on one more time is because you were talking about pronouns. There was a friend of his who was in the stream, but they were able to stay for a long time in the stream, so I'll give props where props are due. But at the same time, in the very beginning, they wanted to be referred to as they, and they let that be known right before we started.
That's a bad sign right there.
Well,
That's
I see that, like, to me, I just see that as such
awkward.
it is awkward, but I also see it as a power play. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes, that's them like getting they're letting you know.
Or else, dude.
Yeah.
But like I was
And the thing is, we've had people that like, you know, there's like, okay, here's the thing. Like, I know that like I don't know if I should say this, but like I know Joe Strike, he didn't want the conversation to go towards like furryism being a sexual fetish, which I understand if you're someone who's been there from the beginning and you've written about it, like you're an actual scholar of furries and you wanted I know it sounds like if you want to disassociate with like yiffing and people think it's just a sexual fetish, I understand. Like we gave him that level of respect, but the thing is like if you are,
that's how we found out about this shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's how we were all introduced to this. It's not like we all came into it bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It was them taking things we liked, turning them into animals and making them fuck in front of us, and it's awful.
Exactly.
How dare you?
By the way,
you can't respect furries ever. You can't give them even an inch.
Why?
I think the problem with that stream is like when you come on here or on any type of stream or anything like that, I don't care how many times you've repeated yourself or written books or written essays or whatever. You're here, you're dealing with a new audience, a new panel. I didn't know that there was anything to furries aside from them like dressing up and fucking. I don't know. Like a lot of us had questions about that. A lot of us had questions about the animal abuse allegation.
Well, Jugs, as you know, if you just would read my 250-page dissertation on the culture of furries,
which by the way, it's
21st century America.
$49.99 on Amazon. Like fuck yourself, dude. No, I'm making that up. I'm making that up. But I'm like,
no, like $1,500 from like Nature. You know, you got to pay for a stupid article.
No, I'm gonna see how much
furrination
is.
Go to Libgen.
No, sorry.
Sci-Hub Libgen gang.
Yeah. Wait, furrination.
When you see, no, it's true. A lot of academics do that where I'll have like a really interesting, like you'll see a really interesting book, but then it's like $200 markup because it's like part of their course that they offer you a deal from a book distributor. It's bullshit. It's total fucking
grift.
Oh.
Power grift. That's
someday you will buy my ebook
exactly,
hopefully
James,
by next year. So don't worry about it.
Dude, Gio, I still remember I like literally scanned in an entire book once.
Yeah.
Like just turned it into it took me 24 hours.
Oh my god. Unironically, I am contemplating buying the Furry Nation book because it does, like Joe Strike does. He's a good guy. Maybe I want to support him, not because I always want to support the Twitter bros. By the way, the other day, speaking about supporting the Twitter bros, 2 people I want to have on the show desperately. One person of this is a good friend of a good friend. So yesterday I highly recommend, Jugs, you should buy this book, One Dimensional Woman by Nina Power.
That's all women.
Right.
She's really great person. And also Beginning with Heidegger, Crash Course on Heidegger by Michael Millerman.
What do you call me?
They totally fucked him over. University of Toronto. I got accepted to the University of Toronto. That's why I didn't go, because they fucked over one of the best Dugan
that's why you didn't
scholars of
go,
the modern
Gio.
world.
Yeah.
So go and buy Beginning with Heidegger.
By the way, here's the cover.
Oh God.
You know what? I was almost on board with buying the book too until I saw the cover. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that
Gio,
right? This book is.
Speaking of Dugan
Sophia,
posting,
I mean,
go out and buy the
imagine
fourth
like someone's
theory.
at your house
Go and buy
and they're
the
looking
fourth
through your
political
books
theory.
and they see that and they pull it out and they
They'll
see
see
the
like
cover.
the Turner Diaries, and that's fine. And then they see that, and they're like, "What the fuck is
Go
going
and buy
on?"
Camp of the Saints by Mystery Grove Press, our friend.
Gio,
I'd rather be caught with like
after you
3
read
copies of
One
Mine and
Dimensional
Comp
Woman.
before that Furry Nation.
Yeah, that furry book is terrifying to look at.
No, I don't think
I
it's
think
so
most
terrible.
people would rather
that's like
if they
the
had
kind
to
of
choose
that's
what
the
people
kind
would
of
view
book
them as a
cover.
Nazi or a furry. People would probably pick the Nazi.
No,
Nazi
that's
furs
the
aren't
book
real.
cover
Don't worry
where
about it.
you have like a
Yikes.
nightmare and the book cover like comes to life and just kills you. You know, that's the kind of
That's
the
what
kind of
that
book
is.
cover you're looking.
You have a
That book
favorite
cover is, as my good buddy would say, that's gin shit. Okay.
Okay, to
No,
be
but
fair,
it's
hold on.
Anybody that's
Power?
got some Muslim boys. you know
Hold
what
on.
I'm
To
talking
be
about.
fair, he did not choose the cover of the book. That's what I found out from him. And he actually has a pretty cool looking costume. He's a scaly. So this is what Joe Strike looks like in the suit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You know what that looks like, Lev?
If that
Holy
was in my
fuck, you know-
house, I would kill it.
Have you ever? Do you know the artist Neil Hague?
No, how do you spell that? Neil Hague.
Neil H-A-U G-E. Wait, sorry, H-A-G-U-E. He is a visionary artist, but he is a political visionary artist. He has done all the book covers for David Icke, and that costume looks exactly like
The
one of
reptilian.
Neil
That's
Hague's
actually
David-
true.
David
It
Icke
is.
covers. Yeah. If you have,
that
I have
guy's
the
like
book.
reverse Alex Gray. That's amazing.
Yeah, The Lion Sleeps No More. He did that cover. That looks exactly like the
That's
reptilians.
true. Click
in-
on it right now. It
Yeah.
looks the face
Oh my
especially.
God.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Find
compare it.
Someone find the Neil Hague reptilian
We cannot trust
drawings.
this man anymore. I'm sorry.
And by the way, Neil Hague, I wanted to write an article about this, but he had a fire take where he goes after Alex Gray for calling him like basically kitsch and not really like politically aware or anything. So I wanted to write an article about that because I do
Alex
think they're-
Gray is, I think, like on purpose. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to do that.
I
Oh my
think-
god,
Wow.
Yeah, see, I told you.
All right, let's
So-
compare the two. Okay,
No,
this
but
is
a
the
lot of-
Neil
that's
Hague.
him. That's him. That's literally him.
That's literally.
Except he has a mohawk. Sorry, he's the radical body snatcher. He's the cool body snatcher.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
George.
Yeah, because he's got a mohawk.
Exactly.
I remember back in the day, back in 2005, Alex Jones had this video where he was pretending to be George Bush with a mask, and he's like, George W. Bush, and he's like, I'm not even from Texas, I'm Kelly Bomb Fort Maine. And then he said, I never forget this for as long as I live. Alex Jones says he had like a devil, like a little toy devil thing, you know, for Halloween, like kids have. The devil horns.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna put a Democrat leader and you're gonna love it when they do it. All you Democrats that hate the Patriot Act, all you Democrats that hate the wars, you're suddenly gonna love it. And lo and behold, Obama got elected. So
And they're like, you know what? We're gonna need to go into Libya. We're gonna need to go into Syria. Real quick.
You know, that Syrian children's hospital is really looking at me funny. I don't like
plenty of children.
Yeah.
But Apex, you were saying about Nina Power, one-dimensional woman.
Oh yeah, no. After you read One Dimensional Woman, I'm sure you'll go and look at some Two Dimensional Women for the rest of the night.
Oh, I'm not.
That was pretty.
Oh my
that
God.
was
He's not talking about what I'm doing
such
after
a-
the
I was
stream.
waiting to
Abby.
say that.
I have a lot of
private information.
I'm
I
not
hate to
into
change the
anime,
topic, but did you guys talk about Oregon yet? Decriminalizing
Orgasms
everything.
yet?
all
By the way, Nina
drugs. That's
Power,
amazing.
So,
Please, Nina,
who
come
else
on the
wants
show.
to come to Oregon and just shoot up heroin with me?
I want to
Anyone?
go to
Oh my
Oregon
God.
and get Eddie because you getting.
Well,
across
we
the
know where
border would
Hunter
be awful.
Biden is going to be
Yeah,
located.
exactly.
for the rest of
Oh, by the way,
His newest estate.
speaking of Nina, we are gonna have Nina Paley coming up on the stream really soon.
I love Nina.
Would you like to join us? I would love for you to be a part of this.
Just so I can ask her about the animation she's done, because I've
I
watched
love This Land Is Mine.
2
That's
or
like
3
one
of her
my favorites.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I watched Cedar Sings the Blues and I've seen Seder Machoism.
Yeah, they were both
and-
great.
This
Oh
Land
my
Is
God.
Mine.
And I want to
from
get some
I
of the
love that.
Vitalist Twitter people in. I want to get Serpent Mound in, because Serpent Mound and a lot of them come from more of the realm of those nerds that are worshiping that mother goddess get invaded by the Aryan hordes.
Yes.
That he would
definitely are.
probably see himself being
By the
riding
way,
in the horse.
I also have I forgot Apex. I wanted to ask you. I know I don't want to talk about the fucking Rona shit, but if you have like the demographic that has a severe reaction to it, would you like? From what I read, like apparently you would know like it takes like only a matter of like a week or something. Like if you have a pretty severe reaction to it, like I don't know, it's
To what?
to the virus. Like if you're in the demographic that does have a very adverse reaction to it,
Yeah,
apparently
it would
hits
be
you
within a
pretty-
week.
It would hit you pretty hard then.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would think so.
Okay, I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
anything.
the
But it's just,
longest incubation period is like up to 2 weeks.
no, but I mean,
But
when you start
generally,
to-
if you're gonna get a severe case, you'll start seeing it earlier.
yeah, but if you start having symptoms, I mean, then usually if you know that you're fucked, then not. I don't want to say it like that, but you know.
So the if you do that, like one thing is there's I don't know if you know anyone who might have asthma, but there are like steroid inhalers that you can use.
Yes.
That'll help.
My
Just lots
I
of
have-
water.
yeah, I have a family friend actually who his whole family had it, and his wife, his 2 kids that had it, they just had a cold, but his wife had a
Yeah.
severe asthmatic reaction to it. But he has MS, and he is on immunosuppressant, the shot, not the,
Ooh.
but he didn't have any symptoms, and he was fine. And I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And then
No,
I read,
I've
I
heard
read
some
that,
really
like,
weird, crazy stories as well.
Yeah,
Like
I've read though that if you're an MS patient, you're taking a certain autoimmune depressant.
Yeah,
it
there's
makes-
certain drugs that
it-
actually
yeah, it
help-
makes your
will end up
cells like
protecting it.
slippier or something. Like
Yeah.
the virus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
it's more difficult for it to enter the cells.
Yeah,
And I also heard
yeah.
about Regeneron, the thing that Trump took, that actually shows a
We
lot
have
of
brilliant
promise.
therapeutics. I call them miracles from God, actually. But-
Yeah, the problem is trying to just mass produce them.
yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it
That's
showed
the
a lot
issue
of
there.
promise.
Well, there's
for,
always the
MS.
H word with the Z
Yeah,
word
yes,
and
yes,
the
yes.
A word that you can't say, and that works the same way. I mean, just
I don't know though about that other. I mean, I see. This is the problem when things become political, when the media hammers
Yeah.
on it. You can't
Mhm.
trust.
This is why like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I use a list of there's like 50 epidemiologists on Twitter who I follow, and because you're not gonna get any truth from CNN. MSNB, like these people don't have epidemiology degrees. They don't know how stats work. Okay, they have no idea how a statistic works. You're not going to get any truth from the media. They don't know how to read studies. I cannot tell you how many times I read an article, I find the study they're talking about, and the introduction of the study contradicts the entire article. You know, like it's you can't listen to the media on something like this.
They salivate over like death and despair and bogus banners, as Sophia says, and murders.
They go to that
Faces
Faces of Rona page, and it's like a boomer.
They're sick. It's unbelievably
what?
sick.
Seriously?
Right.
Yeah, you haven't seen that,
resist
Remus?
Twitter libs. They go to Faces of Rona. Wait.
We have
Twitter.
We have Christo here. So actually, let's ask Christo. Christo, do you go to that face of?
I actually, before I have to run, it has been a ton of fun, guys. It was nice meeting you all.
Later, Apex.
Yeah, come again, buddy.
Good day, Apex.
Peace, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care, Apex. Thank you so much for coming in. I would love for Apex
I might have to go
come
soon
in.
too, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we may end it soon. Oh, and we have one more person, it seems, here. Yes, we got Phil. Phil is coming in.
No, don't end it soon. I'm just saying, like, I might have to.
So Christo, do you know the pages that Geo was talking about?
No, I think it's like a lot of things. You guys are sort of in your own reality in this kind of thick-walled silo where.
Oh, that's why you're here. You're
right
here
out the gate. Wow.
You are here to
break
the consensus. So
I'll do my best to tell you what normal people think.
What the fuck?
I kill normal people for breakfast.
Before people comment, Christo, what is your
normal?
What do you see as the path of the? Yeah. What's happening?
Yeah.
What's the question?
What do you see as the most likely outcome of the election?
Oh, Trump already lost. What's the question?
But do you think will it go to the what is the path to the Biden victory? Do you think it's going to go to the forwards?
Biden flipped 5 states. He flipped Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That's so confident.
So he got 306 electoral votes, and Trump got 232, which is really interesting. If you look at 2016, it's an exact switch from 2016. In 2016,
Trump, to me.
A crazy conspiracy, man. These numbers have to mean something. I'm sure of it. But Trump got exactly 306 in 2016, and Biden got exactly 306 in.
Where did he get 300? Where are you getting that from? It's been called now, or you're just?
It's math, honey. I can do math. Can you?
No, I can't do math. That's why
I can't.
Numbers are fucking bullshit.
No, a lot of you guys do seem to have a big problem with science, and you also seem to have a big problem with math.
Whoa, wait.
If you can't figure out math, that's not my problem.
Wait, because I listened to you do this the other night, and I really just stop being so smug. Listen to everyone talk. Let other people talk, and stop insulting everyone on this panel because you don't.
I'm not insulting you. I'm just telling you reality. Reality is Biden won.
Doug's for president.
You can look for yourself. You don't have to believe me. Go look.
270. Oh, fuck yeah! Congratulations.
306. 306.
No, your response to me was extremely. Can I count? You're being rude. I'm asking you where you got these numbers from because I'm not seeing it.
Go look anywhere online. You can go look for yourself. You don't have to believe me. Go look.
They've been called. I know. I'm asking you.
Okay, Chris, can you please provide just one link?
I'm looking at CBS right now, and it still says that Biden is at 253 and that Trump is at 213. So I'm asking you, and I was asking you respectfully, where you got your numbers from. You don't need to be rude about it, okay?
Look, people talk about numbers all the time. They say 6 million in the history books.
The New York Times. The sites I use are the New York Times.
I think but here's the thing, Christos.
And the other side is
New York Times fake news.
I'm sorry, I get a little worked up sometimes, but I don't mean anything by it.
But the New York Times,
are all really
on the
credible.
website, the New York Times, it also says Biden's at 253 and Trump is at.
Failing New York Times.
So
it hasn't. But here's the
thing. New York Times hasn't called it, but the other sites I use have.
No, but before we go on, I think a good thing to point out would be, like Remus says about the New York Times is fake news. The thing is,
Decision Desk is the other one. Decision Desks.
No, but
never heard of it.
I think the problem is that when you have the certain like digital media techno environment we live in, it's very sort of easy rather it's not easy. It's hard to establish.
For people to exist in their own silos. Yes.
No,
very
the
true,
reality
Gio.
tunneling,
very
but
true.
also
these are those very thick-walled silos I'm talking
no,
about.
but Krista, you would also admit the media themselves have done a terrible job in the Trump era.
The walls of the silos are very thick. You're right,
Chris,
Gio.
but what I'm saying is that the media themselves has also done a very good job of debasing their own.
We're talking about the same thing. There's a right-wing media and there's a left-wing media.
Well, the right-wing media
there's really not. There's like
The right-wing media has been
totalitarian.
Christo, can you turn your camera on?
That basically has control.
I don't have a webcam, but I'll get one for next week. I'll go get a webcam.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I mean, I don't agree. Like, here's the thing. If people they're not, like we explained last week, people are anonymous for various reasons. And I think that if people want to come on anonymously, I think that's we're open. But yeah, if you want a webcam, I just want I
just don't have a webcam. I'll go get one.
No, it's all right. You don't have to. That's what my point is. That I don't want people to get attacked over their anonymity. Is my point. But anyways, my point being
that's fine.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I think that the media, the media apparatus itself, I think, is become not just discredited.
I don't think there is a the media. I don't think you're making a good point, Gio, because there is no the media. You refer to the media as if it's like some creature, some monster.
Well, I think
there's a whole bunch of little medias now. There's a media that all the people on the far right watch one media, and all the people on the left watch another media.
I get what you're saying.
You don't really meet that often.
We're curating our experiences in media. You're right. Where there is. But the argument,
people really seek out reinforcements for their beliefs, for their confirmation bias. People really definitely do that. I do it. You do it. Everybody does it.
I don't do it.
Well, regardless of who is correct, I think Christo has a point. It's much easier for people to fall into certain patterns, which is why I think it is important to get.
And did I not come on last week? I'm sorry, Liv, but did I not come on last week and everybody on the panel said, "Oh yes, definitely, Trump's going to win."
Well, we don't know if he's.
That's definitely not what any. Well, some people were saying Trump's.
We can go back and look at the video, and now
I was there.
People are still in this delusional place where they're saying, "Oh yeah, Trump still has a chance." He doesn't. Do the math. Trump lost. He lost hours ago.
He didn't lose anything yet. We're just getting started.
Wait. One at a time. Sophia.
So Hotep, Sophia, you go, then Remus, and then
Yes.
So. All I'm saying, if I was on the panel, then it was me, because the election is not over. It hasn't been called. No votes have been certified. The official date for the last certification is December
Hotep,
14th.
you're wrong.
Whoa, dude.
Or she's wrong. She's black, or she's wrong.
It's because she's black.
So
that's fucked up.
All
right, Christo. Racism or sexism.
Okay,
Christo.
Doesn't matter if she's black, white, blue, green, female, male. She's wrong. When people are wrong, they're wrong. Doesn't matter what color they are. They're the color wrong.
Christo, follow it up with why she is wrong. You have the floor.
Because math exists. That's why she's wrong.
Good answer.
Now Remus.
Hey man, to be fair, use that with big
Can I just say something real quick?
So what day are the votes certified? Who certifies the votes? Who certifies the votes? I'm talking about the actual process. Who certifies the votes? Because this is one of the things that I do. Like, who certifies the votes? Who does?
Christo, you have the floor.
And then the Remus.
Yes.
Did I say weenus? Holy shit.
Christo.
Oh, dude, you want to see some weenus? Check this out.
Big shot.
Do you have that condition where your skin is loose? Do you have that? What's it called?
That's a powerful ass.
That's called liposuction.
What the hell is that shit?
Oh.
No, they have a condition where certain people have their skin is stretchy like that.
Okay.
I don't know, dude.
I answered Hotep's question, and that was a very good question. Is that every state does it differently? It's all state by state. Everybody has slightly different rules. Most of them certify in early December.
Okay, so I said December 14th, which would count as early December. Then what happens? What's the next step? Because I know the next step. It goes to the Senate.
All of the electors, they can do it in person, or I think they can do it by, by signing something. All the electors submit their votes. Do you know there were 2 faithless electors in 2016 that were supposed to vote for Trump and didn't? So he didn't get 306 electoral votes. He only got 304.
Okay, but the point of the matter is, what I am talking about is the process. The actual process is the votes are certified in December. And after the votes actually get certified, the Senate still has to certify them. And after that, the National Archivist has to accept the certification. At any of those steps, if rampant, obvious fraud can be proven, then
Yeah, but
one
there's
of
no
those
rampant
people,
obvious fraud. You guys are living in this fantasy.
Wait.
over there.
I
There's
haven't
no
proven
fraud.
that yet,
Okay.
and you
Let's
can't
take it-
prove that.
Let's take
Give me
it,
a second.
Christo.
I can't prove it.
Crystal, let's take
Who
it
needs
one
to prove
step at a
the
time.
Just because
rampant
invisible
obvious
people are
fraud?
talking to me
Who
does
needs
not
to
mean I
prove
live in
that?
a fantasy
Let's
world,
take it-
retard.
Hold on. Guys, okay, let's take it one step at a time. Here's what we're going to do. First, Hotep Sophia made a statement. Christo, I would like for you to confirm if that statement is indeed correct, and not saying like, oh, this isn't going to happen, this is going to happen, just step by fucking step. Was Hotep Sophia's statement correct? That's the first thing. And if it wasn't, why wasn't it correct? Go
Yeah,
for it.
if you're making an extraordinary claim like there's rampant, crazy fraud,
Crystal,
then you need
that
to
wasn't
provide
what I was asking.
Don't interrupt
Crystal.
me. I have the floor. You guys can shut up. Listen.
but
No,
that's
you
if you're
don't have the
making an
floor.
extraordinary
you don't have-
claim,
no, you don't have the floor because that wasn't the question that I asked. I'm sorry, but
Also,
this is
it's-
what I got to do. Okay?
it's
The
Lev's
question that I
show.
asked if you can, it is my show. It's my fucking backyard. So number one, Hotep Sophia
That's
made
right,
a statement
baby.
after
Show 'em who's boss, Lev.
After Hotep Sophia made a statement before getting into who's right or who's wrong or whatever. Please say if that statement is
Those
correct.
rules.
Hotep Sophia, can you restate your statement again, and then
What
Crystal
I-
will say yes.
right. What I said is, if they can prove that there's rampant,
If they can prove.
that's what I said. If they can prove
okay, that's
that
fair.
there's rampant, obvious fraud at any one of those stages.
So where's the proof is the next
vote-
question. Where's the proof?
Jesus
have to
Christ,
find the
Crystal,
proof.
let her
Can you
speak.
fucking finish.
Let her
bro?
talk.
Hashtag let her talk.
She's just
Black
going
eyes,
through
let
the
her
steps.
talk.
She's not on this side or that side. She's just talking. Let her talk.
I'm just, if they can prove that there's rampant,
If they
obvious
can.
fraud at any one of those stages, either the states can invalidate and send their own electors, or the Senate can invalidate and require
Happen, though. It's a
additional
crazy
looking,
fantasy.
or the National Archivist cannot certify the election. So there is more steps that actually have to go into this before the actual people are sworn in. The Senate and the House are sworn in on January 3rd,
Okay, it's
and
whatever. I
the
don't want to
president
get
is sworn in
lost
on
in
the
these
21st.
conspiracies.
But it's not. This
Wait,
is not
Crystal.
conspiracy.
She
This
wasn't
is
saying
just a
anything
step by
conspiratorial.
step.
She was just saying
Yeah, but
what the
nothing's
steps
ever
are.
happened like that in the history of the country.
Is there anything false about what she said as far as the steps that
No,
have
she's
to be
right,
taken?
but so what?
Well,
Okay.
let's
anything-
establish that first.
Can we?
We're talking about the
have
the days of the
seven-
week.
Have 7 states stopped counting on election day in the history of this country? Answer that
Well,
question.
No, have they? No, I don't know.
Has it ever been a pandemic during the election with the guy that everybody calls him? No, this is
Yeah,
fucking
okay, well,
once.
Trump
This is
lost, and
once.
nothing's gonna happen. Bet me.
Okay, so the
Okay, dude.
example that I can use is that
We're gonna come
with
back together.
Lincoln,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they
go
did
ahead.
the same with Lincoln. They tried the same thing to actually prevent Lincoln from being elected. So this is not even the first time they've used mass mail-in voting as a means
Did
of
something happen with
affecting the
Lincoln?
election. Yes, the same thing. They use
What
mass
same
mail-in
thing?
voting.
Okay.
They
and what
the
happened?
use of he ended up winning. That's what won. That's
Lincoln
what
won.
happened.
Yeah, we know Lincoln won. We can look at history.
Right. Okay, so if we're just looking at history, we know that this has happened before with the use of mass mail-in voting to affect an election. So you can't say that this hasn't happened in history. I just gave you an example. So
Okay,
all
that's
I'm
that's a
saying
good
is-
example.
So all I'm saying is the election is not over. The states have not certified the votes, which they
Technically,
don't do
you're
until
absolutely
December.
correct.
That's
Wow,
all
it
I-
only
that's
took you
all I
10 minutes
said.
to listen to her.
No,
what she had
technically,
to
you're
say.
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Here's my point. You're absolutely correct, Hotet. I'm sorry I
That's
interrupted.
all
you.
I said. That's all
But
I
here's
said in
my
the
point,
beginning.
and my point at the very beginning too. Nothing crazy is going to happen. Biden's going to get elected, just like it always normally happens.
Always normally.
So,
happens.
Christo, can I ask you?
Trump
Do you
was normally
believe?
something that happened.
Do you believe that there should be
Trump was not the
truth
aberration.
and reconciliation? Council?
Obama was the aberration.
Why? Because he was
Why?
black.
Because he was a black guy.
No,
He was
because
the
he was
same
a
as everyone
progressive.
before him, except
Because
he was
actually
Come on,
he was a
Christo,
centrist,
Christo.
but he was
Crystal, haven't you listened to enough Chapo Trap House?
Obama's a white
Obama is
man.
not a progressive.
Trans
No, he
wife
was a centrist.
and adopted
But
daughters.
He did have some progressive.
I really
policies.
loved it when Obama destroyed Libya. It was cool.
That was
great,
progressive.
right?
That was really based.
Really
in
You know
Red
what I mean?
Pill.
progressive.
But in,
Yeah.
but in a
That
serious
was
point.
not very
That was really
progressive.
based in Red Pill. That was Bronze Age mindset.
That was just
Wait,
one
wait,
policy.
hold on,
You're
hold on.
right. You
Change
got me on that one.
mindset when he did that.
I will be
What
okay.
the fuck?
I really want to ask this about Libya because
Christo, have you read Bronze Age Mindset?
Yeah. No, there's probably a lot of books I haven't read.
That's on my list.
Books are gay.
All right, serious question.
I know I'm being silly. I shouldn't be as.
We're not making fun of you for not reading. We were making fun of you with a meme. It's fine.
It's all right.
Don't worry about it.
I have a serious question
Obama
about Libya.
was definitely a centrist.
I have a
Crystal, what is your eye color?
Definitely an
What is your eye
imperialist.
color?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Definitely a neoliberal.
I'm
gonna
sorry.
do the other. I have a serious question about Libya, by the way.
But anyways, yeah.
Wasn't it cool when Gaddafi got did you guys see his cool introduction to anal sex? I did.
My God!
Yeah, that was cool when Obama made that happen.
I have to go there.
I have a serious question.
It happened, man.
Hold on. I have a serious Libya question. Because I have not done that much research on it. How much was it the impetus of the French government versus the American government? Like, I know the whole thing about Gaddafi wanting to have gold in his country and all that, but how much was it the French as opposed to the Americans?
No, historically, I'm not the French government. I know that different nations have different interests. The French work for their own interests.
But specifically in terms of creating the situation in Libya,
the French were in on it, so it's probably in their national interest.
What exactly did the Americans do if we're talking about Hillary Clinton and all those guys?
No, the French were in on it, but historically, the America was always tied with the British in terms of military action in the 80s around that region. But historically, if we're going back to the 60s and even the 50s, America always had sort of an antipathy to French colonialism in general. Because
the French told us to fuck off back in the 80s too when we wanted to fly over their territory to go bomb
that's
Iraq.
right. Yeah, but even in Vietnam, the Americans basically wanted the French out. So the theory goes that America, the CIA, the OSS at the time basically funded the Viet Minh. But that's another issue. But I think by the time Libya happened,
but in Libya they did help us, even though
they did. Yes, the French
a decade or two before they told us to fuck off.
Because then the British also had interest in Libya because if you know the history between Gaddafi and the British,
the British always help us though.
Yeah, and plus Gaddafi, he helped the IRA to fuck over the British by giving them primo quality Semtex before they just had like fertilizer bombs. Then the IRA were getting top quality Semtex.
That was an interesting discussion we had with that dude who was here from Northern Ireland. He was a gay guy who was a Catholic man, and you always find
Andy Warhol
for your panel, Lev. I really respect it.
Thank you.
He was an interesting character.
I love having a diverse amount of people here. I mean,
Reggie. He's good.
I get a little worked up and heated sometimes, but I do not mean anything by it. I'm kind of
I totally.
But anyways, about Libya, the French were definitely.
I appreciate everybody having diverse opinions on the panel.
Namaste.
Even though you guys are all wrong.
That's fine. See, this is what I was gonna say. This is what I was gonna say.
Being wrong is actually one of my specialties.
Christo had to come in and do a victory.
You're very good at it.
We were all clowning.
You should get a gold star
on Monday.
Oh my God! Don't say that. A gold star.
What did you
gold
say?
Star for being retarded.
No,
gold star for being wrong is all I said.
You came in to do your victory lap, which I can appreciate.
I'm not gloating at all. I'm just stating the truth.
100 million.
I'm not gloating at all, Remus.
How dare you?
I'm not gloating at all.
I
have not yet begun to gloat. I regret that I have but one Twitter account to give for my country.
And you did say that you came in here to like break us from the delusional mindset where you're gonna put me back into reality.
You have no idea.
That exists in this panel. There's a lot of right wingers here. Like that guy, where's Verse? Who said he bet $700 that Trump was going to win or something?
Yeah,
where's Verse?
Verse is dealing with his.
But anyway, so we have Phil, Mr. Pizu on the panel.
Yeah,
so
Mr.
Phil,
Sue.
what is your? Because we get everyone's take. So before we go forward, what is your election take?
I respect.
By the way, Mr. Sue, you're rolling in Bitcoin right now. I'm kind of jelly.
We had a Bitcoin discussion before, but both Apex and Hakase they had to go. So
yeah,
what is your election take, Phil?
Can you hear us?
I really just think it's the media versus the people, and this election in particular has really made people on both sides that just have jobs, and I was about to say normal jobs, but nothing's really normal anymore, is it? Yeah. And the fact that nothing's normal, I think a lot of people want to do everything that they think they can in their power in this, democracy that we supposedly live in. And so that's why I think that a lot of people may have been indifferent or chose to vote for Trump because he was just so anti all of this, even though he could have done a lot more to end this sooner. my main take is that it's the media and the establishment and there's a globalist agenda to do this whole Build Back Better thing. And, Trump just never played the establishment game, as corrupt as he is and as many ties as he might have with other countries and whatever. For some reason, we saw this from 2016 that they just straight up hated him. And so, I'm not a Trump fan, however, he's fucking hilarious. And I love to watch him do crazy shit for another 4 years and piss off people and people just,
Trump is the worst, but that motherfucker is so entertaining.
James,
look, it's like
it
makes me smile. Funny retard
because
in
it's
office,
the
or
most
do you
giant
want the dementia
fuck you
retard in office?
to the establishment.
See, I think,
and that's exactly
I want the funny
what we
retard
need,
in office,
and that's exactly where I think things have to go. We need to.
We do not want the funny retard in office.
Easy.
He's very funny though.
James, is democracy gay?
Oh, democracy is the gayest thing ever.
Bacon
gay and retarded.
It's literally
democracy is not real.
But we don't.
The imaginary people in my head are more real than democracy.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Chad?
Well, we don't live in a democracy.
Well, technically, we have a democratic republic.
Representational democracy.
We live in the land of retarded homosexuals. That's what
we're doing.
Hey, if I can finish up real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can.
Mr. C finish.
Yes.
Please
Sorry,
do.
I'm just. Oh,
Go for it,
God,
Mr.
Free
Sue.
for All Friday always happens. Anyways,
I love
go
Free
ahead.
for All Friday, baby.
Subscribe right now. We are at how many?
Come
people
on,
are we
no
at?
one's subscribed yet.
1,000.
I feel so
Look at all this soju I got left.
Unironic, here's the thing, Lev. Here's unironically, I don't want to offend people who are differently abled. So I just want to. I'm not fucking joking. Actually,
I'm retarded, so I can say retarded.
Okay, then that makes it. Don't worry about it. So I just want to say it's all just funny. It's a bit, and
yes.
The thing is, I don't want to censor people either. So it's just. Phil, did I cut you off before I'm embarrassing myself now? So Phil, did I?
I mean, every time I hop on here, I'm embarrassing myself. So
come on,
Come on,
you got to give us more credit than that, Phil.
So Phil, you're not a Trump supporter, but you like the laws and the memes and the.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's not just that. The fact is that, for years, arguably, there has been a global establishment, a push, an agenda, just for the establishment to have as much control as possible. And technology and this transition of power from the US to China and just everything is kind of coming to this great reset, this transition, or they'll call it.
If that's true, is there anything we can do to resist it? Should we buy Bitcoin?
Man, you just stole the words out of my mouth. No,
what can we do to resist this if it's true? Go ahead. Sorry.
Excuse me. To my point, this is why Bitcoin is important, because for years, I mean, this is why empires get so big and also why they die, is because people are slaves of the money, because the people in charge are in charge of the money and they have the power over it to print and to just diminish savings and disrupt the pricing mechanism. And they just basically play God with people's lives because they control the money. And that's why whenever you try to save as much, you are losing value. And to store that value, you think of real estate or stocks. And all of that is really just bullshit. And a lot of people don't have extra capital laid around to invest and get ahead. And that is why even if you buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, the more people that buy it, the more it increases in value, it increases in liquidity. And unlike fiat money, it is a deflationary asset. It's not inflationary. So that means your purchasing power increases by the unit, no matter how much or how little you have. And even right now, if a lot of people don't have Bitcoin, what is happening is that corporations like MicroStrategy are putting their entire treasury, their profits from their company that they have made, into Bitcoin, because they're looking in the long term, in the future, that their profits are yielding negative. And that is because of inflation and manipulation of monetary policy. And so to resist that, the only option is going to be Bitcoin. And you are seeing now that central banks around the world are looking into central bank digital currencies, which is not Bitcoin. And it's not even a cryptocurrency. It's a digital dollar of some sort. But they are transitioning into this phase to just have that much more control over your money. And it's scary. And it's just kind of a same song, but deadlier dance for individuals that are trying to gain ahead or just get by and make do. And it's just going to turn into totalitarianism and complete control over your finances. They will be able to have negative interest rates. So anything that you have in your bank account, any check you get, maybe you will only have a certain amount of time to spend it all. Otherwise, it's gone. You know, we're fully transitioning into this modern monetary theory. And Bitcoin is really the only thing that we have. Like, this is our only chance to really buy something, opt out of this broken fiat system, and to opt into complete self-sovereignty, where you actually have control of your finances. Your Bitcoin is yours because it is a digital bearer asset, and it is the most sound version of sound money in the world because there are only going to be 21 million. It is pristine collateral and the most prime real estate ever, because unlike actual real estate, they ain't making any more of it. Shit, you can build on top, you can, seastead until Thailand bombs you or whatever the fuck happened to those people. But with Bitcoin, it is a battle for the nations. And even if people can't all get it, like I was mentioning, these people putting their corporate treasuries into Bitcoin, eventually Bitcoin's going to be recirculated into the economy because it will be so valuable and people are going to have to hire other people, and it will circulate into the world economy. Because how do you repay people with the value of their talents? You pay them with money, actual money. And today, a lot of people can't even define what money is. Is it just built on trust, or is it something that is based off of a bond treasury asset? Well, when I put my money into my account, I heard that it just goes away because it's being lent out. What is money? What is money? And now we actually know the answer, because for centuries, gold was the thing that was the best form of money. But gold failed because honestly, the best form of money is the one that is resistant to theft. And gold was centralized, and it was diluted, and it stole the wealth of individuals because it became fiat. And for once, we have resistance to that because of Bitcoin.
Yeah, but all currency really is symbolic exchange. Like even gold, when you really if you wanted to really break down like a materialistic argument, you would say that, well, gold still is like a mineral from the earth or a metal that, it's a symbolic exchange of value. So I don't know. I get the concept. I tell you the truth, I'm still confused about Bitcoin, but
no, yeah.
I get the concept. Like if we're going to accelerate the concept of monetary value, I get what you mean. Although like we were saying in the panel before, there is problems with like whole nations adopting a cryptocurrency to this. Well, now I don't know, but
there's only friction because it's not in the favor of banks or central banks because it puts power into the individual. Now, so were you trying to figure out like why gold had the value that it had over years? Like in the previous discussion that you had when I wasn't here? Or like what is your main question that you still have?
Well, we also have a comment from Super Iron Bob that I want to address. Bitcoin is emptied out if a major government decides to take over the validation process via processing power. It's a short-term value asset now, but it's not durable. So and he says it will not survive motivated actions against it.
Okay, people have been saying that since its birth, and the hash power or the amount of people that want to mine it more only increases because there is a fixed finite amount. And it is the most purest form of capitalism, because, and it's kind of like a world cock tease in a way, in the sense that, yes, there's a fixed supply, but also, unlike gold, when there's a demand for gold, you can mine more and then the market drops. But with Bitcoin, the more people that try to mine it around the world, and this is one of the reasons why it's like the most decentralized and only truly decentralized digital asset, if you want to call it that. But the reason why it is so decentralized and so just powerful and unique is because of the proof of work algorithm and the difficulty adjustment. So the more people that try to mine it, the more difficult it is to actually mine it. Like the more math your miner has to do, and it gets harder. And every 2 weeks, there is a difficulty adjustment. So every 2 weeks, the protocol will adjust and become harder if there aren't enough people mining it, and vice versa. And so it's like this natural, like Nicholas Talebian ebb and flow, like free markets, like
black swan event.
Yeah, but it's also just like this natural phenomena, like mechanism, like how forest fires happen for a reason. And it's just another reason why central planning is just hubris and doesn't work. Where, I don't know, you like when humans go in and fuck with nature, like they just make it worse, or whatever that term is called. When central planners try to, fix something and there's an unintended consequence. It's not just blowback like in foreign policy, but it's pretty much that. But Bitcoin's here for the long run. People in Iran are using it against the SWIFT system because it is permissionless. And of course, if it works for black market criminals or whatever, then it works for everybody, and nothing is going to change that.
We have a follow-up from Super Iron Bob. Proof of work doesn't matter when you have the NSA holding all the math geniuses that are able to attack it better than anyone else, plus the government's ability to compute better than anyone else.
No. See, they won't attack it because it's not in their incentive to attack it, because it will find it to be desirable. And it's actually pretty much unattackable, because there are whatever the supply cap is. Not supply cap. The market cap is like $250 billion plus right now, especially with the recent pump. And the more that you try to attack it, the more expensive it really is. And you can't really, continue that. You will have to keep doing the same process for like a week straight. If you try to undo a transaction, it's like 1 yard has to be bought into the network to some extent. And there's just already too many nodes on the network, too many computers, too many voluntarist individuals that are already connected to the network that will not let that happen, because it's already so decentralized, and they won't, their nodes in the software will not accept that, because they, like a nation state, would essentially try to do what's called a reorg, just undo a transaction or make a change. And it's just so expensive and not really worth anyone's time. It's just like, if anyone reads the sovereign individual, like this nation state will not see the return on violence that they're looking for. It's not worth their time. And I'm pretty sure plenty of nation states are not coming public about the amount of Bitcoin that they are slowly and quietly accruing, because they know that this financial system has many cracks in it, and many of them have appeared in this year alone. And so I think a lot of them are playing hush hush and are quietly, maybe quickly, stacking their sats. And Bitcoin has just proven time after time to have these incentives to just improve it. Like, the incentives are so strong because everyone wants Bitcoin. Digital scarcity only comes once in a lifetime. And the only arguable time that it doesn't is when you copy and paste Bitcoin and try to make your own, which is a shit coin and is not Bitcoin, and does not have all the amazing properties that Bitcoin has. So digital finite scarcity only comes once in a lifetime, and more people will see that value as time goes on.
Before we move
Can
on,
I?
oh yes,
I will say, can I speak? Can I speak as the anti-Bitcoiner? Because
Sure.
I'm anti-government in general. Having looked into it, I bought Bitcoin, and I also had stocks. I sold everything because anything that the government is involved in is something that I just cannot find myself involved in. And the source code for Bitcoin was, from what I can tell, the researchers that I follow, comes from the CIA or whatever. And I just don't want to be involved in anything like that. Plus, I'm also against, in general, being on the matrix and being forced into this digital world where I can't exist in a physical world without having to use a card or something like that. Like there's something.
No,
I'm not saying that fiat
and
currency is great, but I'm just saying that me personally, I don't like the fact that all of my transactions could be traced via the Bitcoin, because everything.
Well,
that
your
you
transactions
do,
right now are already traced.
Well, if I use cash, they're not.
But they're going to get rid of cash.
Yeah, but they can't get rid of cash. They can't get rid of
Yeah,
cash.
they can.
They
already have in China, and China is
they're not
going
to. But we're not China, so
Not
we
yet.
might be. We might be China very soon, but we're not China right now. They can't really actually get rid of cash.
See, all these Hotep, all these reasons that you bring up though are exactly why Bitcoin was created in the first place. And yeah, I mean, look at DARPA. I mean, the internet as we know it was the CIA, but the people that created Bitcoin wasn't just like this one thing that happened. It happened from iterations, like time after time, from the 80s, called by people called the cypherpunks, who were libertarian, like radical extropians who loved Ayn Rand. And Tim May, who passed away in 2018, was a huge fan of Bitcoin. He worked at Intel, and he quit his job because he wanted to read books on, like, crypto anarchy. And these are the people that created Bitcoin. Reason Magazine just came out with an awesome mini 4-part documentary on this.
Phil, listen, about the idea of the techno-anarchists, there's a lot of criticism of their...
There's criticism in everything.
Utopian worldview. But what I would recommend you should buy Alexander, friend of the show, Alexander Bard's trilogy. The Futurica trilogy, but he wrote the first book in 2001, which was an explicit critique of the original cypherpunk and Californian ideology people. So I would highly recommend buying that. I don't know. I think that it's still...
Even the TLDR.
Essentially, they underestimated the ability of certain power structures to re-territorialize the internet. There's this good book also called Protocols about, but it's kind of very theoretical and Deleuzian. But
well, yeah, but I would recommend that you read that piece that I shared from Eric Kaysen, because the difference here is that what we have is public key cryptography, and the United States fought long and hard so
you
that
mean
it
the
wouldn't
public
be
key infrastructure.
Excuse me.
I'm just trying to figure out what word you said. Public key. What?
Oh no, yeah, public key cryptography.
Oh, cryptography. Okay.
Yeah. And citizens fought, or Phil Salin, who was a cypherpunk, fought long and hard to make sure that was in the public domain. Like, it's all in the documentary, and there's a bunch of good reads on it. But the thing is that public key cryptography got in the hands of free individuals that were very smart, and that was a direct threat to the state. And Bitcoin was basically the final product of a lot of different failed cryptocurrencies that had been tried. And for once, it's not in the hands of government because it is truly decentralized. Government can be a part of it, as in they can try to, mine more Bitcoin and just buy it and whatever. But that's amazing for Bitcoin. That's amazing for anybody. If you own like just $10 worth of Bitcoin, your value goes up because governments fucking want it. It's all a matter of supply and demand. And what is magical about this is that the supply of Bitcoin is fixed, as I mentioned. And that's why it is purely sound money. And now governments don't want sound money because they can't control sound money, because the only reason governments persist is because they control the money supply, as I said. And so for what, like, just like Hayek said, we can't take the money out of the hands of government, but we can create some sly roundabout way, around it, or hold that quote. It's a really easy quote to find.
Phil, would something like this free people up from certain things that we've talked about on this panel before you got here that may be awaiting for people in, possibly in the Biden presidency, or maybe it doesn't even matter what presidency it is, but the idea here is that companies will be able to have way more power over firing people, excluding them from banking, excluding them from various things, not immediately, but like slowly and surely.
Excluding them from banking?
Oh, there we go. Okay, good point. I misspoke. I guess we could forget about the banking part when it comes to Bitcoin. You are absolutely right, Phil. But excluding them from working for said company and being able to make businesses, if we're talking about people with wrongthink. This is something that we were talking about before you got here. What is your thought on these reconciliation commissions, whatever you want to call them, things that we were alluding to that may happen to people in the future when these big businesses are going to say, you are not woke enough, you are not down with us, so you are going to be excluded, you are going to be censored, yada, yada, yada. What would you say to that?
I still don't understand the question. There's a lot there. Can you kind of trim that up?
Any kind of exclusion that people would be experiencing from big business if they have wrongthink. This is something that a lot of people are concerned about.
Like the social credit score.
Yeah,
like,
okay. So are you saying, are you asking if Bitcoin fixes that?
Does Bitcoin fix that? And if that's not enough, is there anything else you would like to say about that, certain things that could be done to prevent that from happening?
But not even just wokeness, but any sort of labor dispute. Do you think Bitcoin has a hand in ameliorating any sort of like, not even just for politics, but any sort of case of people getting fired from their jobs without being warranted?
Yeah. No,
Anyways,
yeah,
I have to go, guys. So I'll see you later. But keep up the stream.
All right,
Gio.
So don't worry about it.
Bye, Gio. Good night.
All right, see you, everybody.
Hey, Gio.
Bye, Gio.
Bye bye. And guys,
Love you guys. Love you.
I love you, Gio.
And don't forget to go to patreon.com/breaktherules.
Yeah, subscribe.
Now, subscribe. And the $30 patronage gets you Gio's beautiful prints. Look at this video right now.
Play the video.
Look at this
All right,
video.
bye. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.
Great
Bye,
to see you,
Gio.
Gio.
Mwah.
Look at this video. If only you guys in the chat and the Zoom call were seeing the video. It is very beautiful. And $20 membership.
What a beautiful
gets you,
video.
Thank you. $20 membership gets you my father Alexander's beautiful magnets. Really beautiful texture over here. You could see all kinds of different wood carved creatures. And one more thing, if you become a $50 patron like our amazing patron Aman Sadhu, he has become a $50 patron. Here's what $50 patrons get. You are going to get...
Man, you have a $50 patron? That rocks.
Yes, we have a $50 patron tier now on our Patreon, and what they get is a commission. Anything you want, my father will make it out of wood in the form of a magnet. So let us know whatever you want, and all of these will be done yearly, meaning that...
Dragon dildos?
Sure, whatever. But it has to be a small dragon dildo. It has to be like, like it has to fit on your fridge.
All right, Dad, we got a $50 patron subscriber, and I'm sorry, but he wants a dragon dildo magnet. You're going to have to do it, Dad. He already paid. There's nothing I can do. I'm not going to refund him, Dad. You have to do the dragon dildo. That would rule. I might subscribe just to do that.
You remember baddragon.com? I don't know if it exists anymore, but that's the company that sold all those
my Steam name is Bad Dragon Vivo.
Dragon is doing very well.
It's still around.
Yes.
It's still around.
yes.
Very much so.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Interesting.
In all the ways that you would imagine.
What's everyone's favorite Bad Dragon dildo they own?
So
the one that's on fire.
So okay,
one that's in my ass right
I know
now.
this is I know this is going really blue in the conversation, but there are some of the Bad Dragon dildos, and I believe there was this lady who writes for some prestigious magazine who wrote a review of it. There was a Bad Dragon dildo where like you can put eggs inside of it, and these are like special eggs.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
You
yes.
remember owning it, you mean, Jugs?
Yes.
Come on now. You can be honest here. We're all friends, and then Christo, but
yeah.
And I don't have any alien egg implantation fetishes, nothing like
Well,
that.
the next step.
But maybe you should.
The next step, I think, here is the cruel Atlantis-like world that I'm afraid we're going to get into with biotech. What I'm imagining is going to happen in the future is that human beings and robots are going to be reduced to being the same thing. You saw with Saudi Arabia when they declared that robot woman to be a citizen. Like, I think in the future...
Oh, we should be so lucky.
Oh, boy. Well, here's what's going to happen, I'm afraid. Human beings are going to
No, I want this. I want this.
Hold on. Well, let me finish first. Let me finish.
Relax.
Okay. If the worth of human beings will become equivalent to that of robots, you can have human beings being created by some kind of implant process where when you actually use your dragon dildo with the eggs, you're actually gonna give birth. You're actually gonna give birth to like these little not human but
Can
human
I change
sort
my
of
mind? I changed my
creatures.
mind.
There we go. That's what I was talking about. This is what
man.
was so fucked up about Atlantis, I think. And Helios Logos, who joined us in the beginning of the stream, he was making this point about what Atlantis was. Now, there's no way for me to prove this is what it was, but this is what I think it was. Kind of like that quote from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
But I
I'll
believe it.
Exactly.
So he was
I thought
talking
Atlantis
about...
was like a paradise.
Well, here we go. I think this is where it started to fall down. So imagine a civilization where they can bioengineer everything around them. So buildings were actually made out of living matter. And that's why we don't have any relics left over from that time. So everything was smart. Like, we're talking about smart fridge, smart microwave. Everything was smart in the sense that it was all like
Dragon dildo.
Like almost psychic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, genetically
In Warhammer
created.
40,000, this is how the Eldar work. They build things out of what's called wraithbone. It's like organic buildings that are also subtly psychic. Yes.
Remus, do you play the tabletop for it?
I did for a really long time, but I don't want to spend so much goddamn money on.
Because I feel like
Which
feel like anyone that like does like Warhammer LARPing and doesn't do the tabletop
Warhammer?
doesn't reserve the respect.
See, I don't actually
thing.
LARP as a Warhammer character.
No. I wasn't
loser,
saying
you know
you're a
what I mean?
LARPer. I was just saying.
Yeah, but I agree. If you do Warhammer LARP and you or you in any way take from this series or this universe, I guess, and you don't even play, it's like what are you doing?
Yeah, because like I've never gotten into it. I know the games are popular, but like it seems
the
cool.
fans
like,
are extremely
miniatures and stuff.
obnoxious.
That's not my thing because Pokemon is my crack addiction. But like,
wow, that's interesting.
But I feel like there's so many right-wing people that are like so obsessed with the Warhammer.
Well, because it provides. Definitely the aesthetic. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was personally insulted when people started calling Trump a god emperor. I was like, are you serious? Like, it's not even close. God emperor just does it. Like he doesn't like. There's no bluster. He just does the thing.
By the way,
So,
when the furries are going to merge with the Warhammer fandom, it's going to be turned into Warhammer.
no,
Oh my God.
Relax,
see,
lad.
it has its own disinfectant system.
You're lucky this is your stream.
Where they
You're
kill
fired,
furries
Lev.
instantaneously. Yeah, don't say that. It's horrible. But no. It's because Warhammer has like a very sort of like good. Even though it's like, oh, there are no good guys, there definitely is a good and bad side. Humanity is
The good side is whatever side I'm on, and the bad side is whoever's against.
No, it's basically humanity trying not to die is the whole thing, right? So they do incredibly fucked up things as a result to deal with this problem because it's like, it's a whole situation. But like, the chaos gods in the setting are very evidently like a corruptive force in reality. Like the way corruption works. Caustic, man. Yeah, exactly. It is based. I don't care if it's satire. It's kind of cool that the setting just sort of looks at darkness and goes, yeah, fuck that. and shoots it in the head immediately. Like the idea
I'm just
if
glad
you
that
show
you're an
any
actual
corruption,
fan of
kill
it, and
them.
you're not some fucking right wing.
No, I definitely actually like the series. I enjoy, like I this character is a pick because I like the character. It wasn't like
literally
that name
this
sounds
character is
Roman.
literally me.
It's definitely not me.
By the way, Caustic, I am all too familiar with Mediker's work on the furry fandom. I know all about Kiro and the Kiro the Wolf and the Zoo Crew, which would
is
be
that the guy who got rid of his hands?
No, that's somebody else. But Kiro,
Yeah,
that was interesting.
But Kiro the Wolf, you remember?
It's bad. It's really bad. I couldn't even finish it. I felt bad watching it around my dog, so I turned it off.
Oh.
But that
I was like, she doesn't need to hear this.
But that would be a great name for a Saturday morning cartoon series, right? It's Kiro the Wolf and the Zoo Crew.
Or a punk band. Like,
sure, yeah.
Yeah, but they could do it like on purpose, like knowing what it means. You know what I mean? That's how it's punk.
Exactly.
Also, since I brought up Pokemon, since I compared Warhammer with crack addictions, I would like to just say, since I've talked about Pokemon on the
Pokemon.
I pulled yesterday on my stream, which I was very happy about, a Charizard VMAX.
Take a look.
I don't know what that means. That's
which
shiny,
is $100 card, and this looks like it should be a 10, and if it's a 10, that's a like $400 to $500 card right there.
Damn.
So,
okay, so this is like Magic the Gathering, except it's Pokemon cards.
Except it's cool.
Magic the Gathering is cool.
It's way cooler than
Magic the Gathering
Pokemon cards
are not
play the
as shiny
games.
and cool looking.
Yeah, I don't understand how the Pokemon cards work. Like I've never, as a kid, I collected them, but I literally never played.
That's
the
everyone
game
as a
with
kid.
anyone.
I have not played Magic, but from what I've heard from people,
what is that?
Pokemon is like a simpler version of Magic.
Oh my god!
Do you not know what Pokemon is?
No, I've never played Pokemon actually.
But the Pokemon cards look way cooler. Like the thing is, like what I've seen with Magic cards, there's no like these full art cards. It's just like the little and then the fucking wall of text, and then a lot of it's just kind of generic Dungeons and Dragons kind of fantasy shit. Which is like there's nothing wrong with that, but like the cards themselves just don't look that cool.
I think they look brutal as fuck. Especially like some of the older ones. I think
Magic cards.
Looking. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, they have some of their artists are fucking amazing. Like, but it's very generic, yes, because the point of the cards is that they're archetypal. Like, the whole thing is archetypal. It's white, black, green, red. Like the whole thing is like fast guy, fire guy, green guy.
I'm still willing to buy some cards from your collection.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't really care if that's not a hollow.
They're all hollows here. See, this is Togetic. Here, hold on. I'm gonna switch the camera.
Lev, are you still in New York right now?
I am. Here, I'm gonna switch the camera, or rather, I'm gonna zoom the camera in.
James is gonna come rob you.
Here we go. Okay, so let's see what
I'm gonna come with a check.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so now you can see it in all its glory.
Damn.
And I'm gonna use the
Japanese. Not Mudkip. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna use the Japanese ones as an example because you can't even tell.
Damn, Porygon 2.
Yeah, Porygon 2. Let's see what else we got in here. We got the Haunt over here. I really like this kind of holographic style. It has this little galaxy swirl thing over here.
I like that.
Everyone's a big slut for the slur. I almost said the slurs. The swirls. Everyone's a big slut for the swirls.
This is intrinsically.
That's a band name, dude. For the swirls.
That is a band name. Yeah. This reminds me of hat trading in TF2.
Except this is way cooler because it's shiny cardboard.
Oh fuck, James! I didn't know that you had Master What's His Dick on your shirt. That's a
Master Roshi.
Yeah.
Big Dragon Ball fan, big Pokemon fan.
I hate Skarmory so much because I always picked grass types.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Grass types are fucking base. Bulbasaur's underrated.
Yeah,
no. Only go water, and the only time you go fire is Charmander.
Yeah, Charmander's good.
Skarmory, I've always thought of it as being like the legendary bird, but that was never recognized as being a legendary bird. You know what I mean? Like
he's not even
the retarded bastard.
The Virgin Skarmory versus the Chad Moltres. Yeah, it's not even fair.
Dude, the fucking speaking of Moltres, the new fucking Galarian forms for the birds look amazing.
I haven't seen. Oh yeah, I saw. They looked. Yeah, I saw
the new DLC. So fun. It's more fun than like anything else in the past like tons of years.
They just need to make an MMO. Just stop.
Everyone keeps saying that. Like I don't know if they could ever deliver on it, but I just want. I just want them to put effort into the games again. That's all.
I really like the ones made of clay, by the way. My favorite designs for Pokemon cards are the ones made by Yukimori. Cause,
the clay ones are sick.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah, those are dope.
Yeah, Lev, though, any of the English cards, though, that you have, I'm definitely interested in buying some. And I know my cousin would be as well. So.
What's wrong with you?
What?
Huh? What's wrong with you? You don't like the Japanese cards, bro? What's wrong?
Dude, Japanese cards are cool, but I can't read that shit. My collection's all in English.
And it makes you look more esoteric.
Is it because they're black, James?
Look, first edition.
Black.
First edition Kangaskhan.
12.5% Italian.
First edition Kangaskhan.
Dude, Italians.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jungle.
Fuck yeah.
You want the first edition Kangaskhan?
Dude, I want your whole.
Do you have a first Charizard?
No, but I have the
Hollow.
I have the
what was that one called?
This one. So I have this one.
It's not,
baby!
Oh my god!
It's not first edition though, but it is in this.
Blast from the past, man.
It's not the base set ones, but this is from Evolution, which I think. What year was this? 20. Fucking whatever. I don't know. It was a while ago, but they're still. You can still get these packs.
Another Yukimori.
These packs are worth like $10 each now. I have a few of these unopened, which I just got yesterday.
Nerd.
From that set, I have the regular and the reverse.
Nice.
So,
by the way, this is pretty much the end of the stream. I'm just gonna show off. Okay, this is the last card that I want to show off. I do have somewhere the base set, the English version of this card, but this is the Poliwrath. I used to have a friend back in the day. Well, I shouldn't even call it my so-called friend. I'm calling him a so-called friend because what he did was that he convinced me back in the day to trade my Poliwrath, which is the first holo card I ever got in my entire life. Like, I was with him in the store. You know, his parents dropped us off at the store, and we picked up the base set pack. I opened the pack up, and lo and behold, the first card that I ever saw in my fucking life was a holographic Poliwrath, and the bastard convinced me to trade it for his Clefairy.
Scuff.
That's you, fucking
What
loser.
was that? Oh gosh, terrible.
How old were you, Love?
I think I was like I don't know, 9 or 8. I don't know.
Oh, you poor bastard.
But then I think I got him back, and I think I also got him to trade. What was it? Yes, it was the. God fucking. I think. Okay, there was a card.
Sound it out.
Okay, hold on. I gotta remember what it was. Please subscribe, by the way, for people who are still watching. Subscribe for Pokemon Chatter.
Ring the bell.
Yes, it was.
Dude, I open Pokemon cards on my channel all the time. I play PTCGO online. If you want Pokemon content, you fucking subscribe to me, man.
All right, you see this?
Just play all the.
You see this Ninetales over here?
ROM hacks.
This
if you do that, then I'll watch.
This Ninetales, this exact Ninetales that I'm holding in my hand, was given to me by this kid named Lionel in class, and he was also the same kid who said something bad about my mom in class. So what I did was I came up to the bastard and I pushed his entire desk over, and my friend gave me a thumbs up in the background. I got in trouble, but I was really happy that I did that. You know, like the teachers
worth it.
Yes, the teachers complained to my parents. My parents didn't give a shit. They thought it was righteous. You know.
What led to you doing that?
He said something bad about my mom, and that was
these assholes walk over you.
How is this relevant to Pokemon?
Because he gave me this Ninetales.
Yeah.
I technically have a Ninetales tattoo because I have a Japanese kitsune tattoo, which
is
nice.
Rad.
You don't have a Ninetales then. You have a kitsune.
Well, it's what Ninetales is.
Be-trad. Come on. Kitsune were cool before Ninetales. No Ninetales.
That's true. True.
But Ninetales also rocks.
Yeah, it's actually done by a Japanese woman.
Oh, damn.
Corey 10 is her name. She's a really good tattooer from Japan.
Nice.
Is it like I'm just gonna be obnoxious and ask it if it was bamboo, like the traditional?
No, it was not Tabori, but her ex-husband came with her on that trip. I've met her a couple of times because I know a lot of tattooers, and my boyfriend at the time did get tattooed by her ex, and he was just like a really scary looking, like Yakuza looking motherfucker. I didn't want him to touch me. I was so scared of him, but he did Tabori. And my boyfriend at the time got a tattoo from him, and it was a Hanya with a fully. I don't think he did the line work Tabori. I think he used a machine for that.
Hanya. If you get the Yakuza
you mean
tat
henna?
from a Yakuza guy.
Super Iron Bob, Pokemon TCG stream. If you follow me, you will get it, man. You will get TCG stuff on my channel. I play all the time.
You remember this? You remember?
I'm so good at it.
Oh, okay, that was from the movie.
Ancient Mew. And
That
what
was
do we
from the
have on the other
movie.
side? We have Imakuni. You guys remember him?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's based.
people
That's
don't know
Tingle.
about Imakuni, but he was part of the Japanese thing. And by the way, one last thing I want to show you guys. Okay, so imagine if you're a kid and you have no fucking idea that the Japanese Pokemon TCG series even exists, and you go into a store, and well, let me rephrase it. You don't know that the Neo series came out yet. Not the Neo series, not the Neo 2 series. So you go into a store, you open up a pack, and you have no idea what are these creatures on the pack. You open it up, and this is the first fucking card you see.
Whoa!
Oh,
Not
That's a
knowing
demon.
anything about dark
Hound
types.
Doom, son.
Yeah, not knowing anything about
Yeah.
dark types at all. Just seeing this motherfucker, I just was staring at him for for several minutes. I was just staring at it. I had no idea what the fuck this was, and I don't think we'll be able to have that feeling back again, because we are living in an age of technology where everything is very, very quick, very instant. So what are you gonna do? What is that you're holding there, James?
Another Houndoom card. This is the most recent one.
Let me see.
Yay!
That looks pretty nice.
Oh, is that
It
what
does
he's
look pretty
giant?
nice. It's
Yeah.
sick.
All right, fellas, I think this is it. We are going to end it for the BTR stream, Free for All Friday. I'm glad we ended it on a Pokemon note. By the way, Christo,
right.
Christo, do you have a favorite Pokemon?
His favorite Pokemon is Pokemon Go to the polls.
Oh my god. Oh.
He's dead. We
about
killed
that.
Christo. We killed him hours ago. We murdered him on stream.
Oh man. Okay.
He's never coming back.
No, he's
No, yes,
definitely
he
gonna
is.
come back
Yeah,
later.
no. Chris Talk is cool. I'm happy he came in, and I'm happy that the conversations that we were able to have had a resolution. You know, it wasn't just like eventually, we did have some common ground as far as certain things, not how they might go, but at least the process. And that is a very important ground to cover for us. So Super Iron Bob says, God bless. God bless you, Super
However,
Iron
the
Bob.
process is the punishment.
Well,
the process.
The
is
punishment
always
is the dragon dildo I'm shoving in your ass without the lube.
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's the dessert, man. What are you
Oh
talking
wait,
about?
wait, wait! By the way, hold on. We went on a whole tirade about Pokemon. I completely forgot about the Atlantis thing that I wanted to say. So before we go, I just wanted to finish this. Okay, so the idea is that if you are able to have things around you that grow that are living beings in a way, and if you get to the mental state of wanting to abuse those mental beings and do something, bad with them, then I can imagine a future where we would be able to create like chips full of little people, and we could just like smash them and just do whatever we want to them, but they'll be like living human beings. They'll be small, and we get so degenerated morally that we wouldn't even care. We would just start throwing these little people around and just I don't know, it's horrible.
Oh, so you're talking about an ultimate degenerated society
Exactly.
where cruelty is commonplace.
Exactly.
The ultimate solution.
Exactly.
That's called
so-
Darwinism, dude.
That's another Warhammer thing. Like there's Dark Eldar. That's just their currency is suffering.
Interesting.
It's what they trade. Like their Bitcoin is suffering. The suffering of living creatures. Yeah. So they're like upset. Like the highest caste is torturers in their
Wow.
society. So like, yeah, don't be that. Be the opposite of that.
Yeah, don't be that.
That's the reason to play Warhammer, is to learn what not to be.
Yes,
Yeah.
go to the light, everyone. Go to the light. All right,
Yeah.
guys, this is it. We are ending the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe. Oh, shout-outs
Always
time.
subscribe.
Shout-outs time. Shout-outs
Force your
time.
family and friends at gunpoint
Exactly.
to subscribe to
Shout-out
BTR.
time. Byzantium Archon, Super Iron Bob, our great patron Aman Sadhu, Jugs. Well, Jugs is here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Jugs. Buff.
Thank you for having me.
Mehran Nog
Love you,
Habai.
Jugs.
Great to see you again, Mehram. And what else we got here? We got Super Gnome 369. Thank you so much for joining. We have that one guy. We have Sad Cum. I hope one day you will be happy cum. So what else we got here?
Hey, he must be happy come saying that he's asking why the girl has a mustache. I think it's referring to me. I'm not sure. But hey, that was fucking hilarious. So shout out to
It kind
that
of looks
guy.
like Jugs has a mustache. If
funny.
you look at like that red lipstick, it kind of looks like a mustache from far away.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just me being like vain and arrogant and assuming it was me.
It's all about me. It's all.
You guys are prettier than me.
You remember?
so.
No, don't say that. You remember Garfield 2, the Squeakquel? It was like, it's all about me, Al.
Oh my god.
Lev, did anyone actually watch
I have
that
a
movie?
penis, so no, I didn't see that movie.
No, I'm
one.
straight.
I didn't even know that was the movie.
I didn't know there was a second Garfield film.
I
Are
like
you
how he
talking
asked,
about-
like, we.
Are you talking about the Bill Murray one?
You know,
There's a
Garfield,
second-
the Squeakquel, you know.
That's a world famous film that everyone watched.
I bet that mouse is squeaking right now.
Very Kino.
God, you gotta kill that mouse too.
Kino.
That's-
Yeah, seriously,
No.
James, go kill that mouse.
Yeah, you gotta
goddammit.
kill that mouse, man. Yes, you must.
That's
You
so
really
cool.
must. It's gonna
so
haunt you in your
Yeah.
dreams. You're gonna have a dream where
Yeah.
that mouse is gonna do bad things to you.
I
so
hope,
you-
like Silent Hill, that mouse
yes.
comes back crawling into your apartment and says, "James, why, man? Why didn't you just kill me, James? Wow. You know how long I was out there in the garbage, man." Like their sense of time is way different because their smaller heartbeats faster. That's like several lifetimes he's just sitting in that garbage. You left him there, James. You left him there.
Yeah, well,
Oh man. Okay. Justice.
That's what it means to be a guru, is you gotta kill the mouse instead of doing the fucking...
Exactly.
So I've enjoyed this 1984 stream. The election is over, and cat or mice.
Indeed.
Dogs.
And,
Yeah.
and also we got to shout out Justice Sundelov.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Let's see who
Just
else
the
we
tip.
got. Elliot C. Wong Kar-Wai, Superfan, XOXOXO. Let's see if there is anybody else. I
For a
think
second, I
that's
thought you said Elliot Roger.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my dad. He's not watching and doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm just gonna give him a shout out anyways.
Aw,
Yo,
that's-
shout out Phil's patience. That's
My
my
mom
shout
too.
out.
Love them both.
No,
Dude, I'm usually not this patient. I think I'm just tired.
you're so patient. It was amazing to watch you. Actually, it was like Buddha-like. I'm inspired. Thank
I
you.
feel very zen. I also
Yeah.
have to pee, so maybe holding it this long.
Powerful. Yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, No P January. That's coming up after No Nut November. So get ready.
I've already failed no P January.
Get a
No.
Get a what are those things? Catheter, so you never have to. Just comes
No.
out. Yeah.
No, that's the opposite. That's the complete opposite. You have to not pee at all. It's very
Oh,
hard.
wait, but does it count if it's not coming out of you know what I mean?
Stop.
out of my finger.
What, like a
Or like, can
like
I
a
snot rocket
colostomy bag
it out?
that's
Does that
pissed.
count?
No, that does
Yeah.
not count. It has to stay in. That's okay.
Lev, this is such a Herculean task.
Well,
Who's
here.
up to this?
I will show you where I got this
Girls have magic powers where they pee out their butts. Does that count?
Yeah.
from. Unfortunately not, but here, I will show you where it's from. I could either send the normal version or the fried version. I kind of like the fried version, or the baked, or yeah, I think.
Look,
give me the
it's
fried
always
version.
better fried. Everything's better fried. Tell me one thing that's not better fried.
Okay, here. So
Right.
I'm gonna leave you guys with this image over here. So this is No P January. This is what it's all about here.
Okay.
Very
I like
hard.
Very hard.
Destroy,
see?
destroy
Oh.
Dick in November, December.
Yikes.
There we
Yeah.
go.
I've already failed no P January.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
I
if I'm gonna
need
be able
someone to
do
clean
this
it
one.
up.
What profile pic do we put if we fail? Do you do you can't do the Coomer.
No, you got to do that kid probably. Just take a.
Yeah, I guess. You gotta
Yeah.
do that kid. Yeah. That's
Hold
what
on,
you-
hold on. Someone in the chat asked a very, very important question.
Okay.
Restream bot, can I penis on my girlfriend to get her prego? Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
you
that-
can.
that's
That
how
was
it
actually
works.
caustic.
My public school education taught me that.
That's actually what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always pee inside girls.
You know,
Yeah.
I do remember.
They like it.
I remember I had a. Speaking of.
It's a power move. It's
Yeah.
marking your territory.
Oh,
Speaking of
Jesus.
my Catholic Speaking of my Catholic school education, I went to Catholic school in my younger formative years. There was a kid.
All right, so did I. No big deal.
Yeah, come on, man.
There was a kid in
Me
my
too.
class. There was a kid in my class named Peter, or as they used to call him, Peter Pumpkin or Peter Pumpkin Eater. And he told me once, and we were both young. He told me that that men and women have sex, and they have sex by peeing and pooing on each other.
That's right. That's
Wow.
how
His parents were into some
Oh, Jesus.
some interesting stuff. Yeah,
Ask
that must
any
have
of the
been-
women I've slept with; they'll all tell you.
Oh,
It's like a
Super
team.
Bob, you're great.
His every night
You're a
was
legend.
that episode or that scene in Team America. You know,
Oh, I remember that scene. That
Yeah.
was good stuff.
that's that kid's house.
That is that kid's house. Peter, poor Peter Pumpkin. Okay.
Peter Pumpkin Peer.
Yeah.
Dude.
Peter Pumpkin Eater, skinnier than Doug but fatter than Skeeter. All right, guys, thank you so much for
All right,
watching.
yeah, I gotta pee. Let's end this.
Let's
Yeah.
end this right now. You are all great. I love you all. Don't forget
Shout
to
out to Chris.
We didn't all
subscribe.
get to shill.
And
by
also-
we,
I
mean,
love
didn't get to
6 of the
shill.
7 people here.
Thank you. Patreon.com.
Phil, do your shilling, dude.
Yeah, Phil Shill.
Oh well, I can't go first. That'd be rude.
No,
Do it
go
right now.
first. Do it.
Go,
do it
go,
now.
go.
We
Just
acquiesce. We acquiesce to Phil.
Okay, cool. Well, I got a podcast. It's called A Boy Named Sue, mostly Bitcoin focused, but it's libertarian, anarchist, all that freedom, good shit. So go check that out. Rate, subscribe, review it, 5 stars. And also look up ETF by Mr. Sue if you're watching this on YouTube. Go in that search bar. I wrote a song called ETF, but it's really End the Fed. And I'm pretty proud of it. It's pretty dope. So share it everywhere if you like it. And swanbitcoin.com/Phil. You can start stacking your sats. You get $10 of free Bitcoin right there. And if you don't want the globalists to fuck you in the ass, you can join the Sound Money Revolution, and you can come live in my citadel with me. And that's pretty much it. But you guys have been amazing this evening, so thanks for letting me chill
here,
Bitcoin
buddy.
and fucking chill with you guys.
It's interesting to hear about because I don't run in Bitcoin circles, so it's interesting to know.
Hey man, I'm not the same person I was a year ago, and I was so skeptical about it. You have no idea. But Bitcoin changes you. Like it's
Wow.
no joke. Like I received the education I should have received in college. Like I learned about history, economics, like Austrian, but just also macro, like how the banking financial system works, the plumbing. Like it forced myself to like learn how to code, just basic like web dev, HTML, CSS, JavaScript shit. Just my overall curiosity expanded, and I have just been on like this Bitcoin like Renaissance man journey for a straight year, and it landed me just so many opportunities. I made so many friends, and I truly feel blessed. I can't recommend Bitcoin enough.
Excellent.
Wow.
And by the way, before we get to James, I have not been doing this at all. Hit the like button. Why are people not
Smash
doing
that like button,
Smash that
motherfuckers.
like button.
I always press the
Algorithm.
like button.
It matters
Like
for the
button.
algorithm.
Yes,
You wonder
exactly.
why does the like button matter so much? It's because of the algorithm.
Exactly.
That's all it takes.
So that's
Simple
20,
like, just
27
fucking do
people.
it.
I see 17 likes, and I see 29 people that are watching. I know who you are. I'm looking at you right now. I'm
We
looking
have
at your
your
soul.
address. It's
Exactly.
not
He knows
hard.
where your family
where your
lives,
family
and he's
lives.
Russian.
We're up to
He's
29.
Russian. Remember, never
29.
forget.
Never
Smash
forget.
it.
So you gotta rush. You gotta rush into smashing that like button and subscribing right now.
It
I know there are
takes
people who have not
nothing.
subscribed. 1,964. That is not enough. We gotta get to 2K. So guys, subscribe right now. Get your family to subscribe to this video. Get your pets.
Dude,
to
you're the
subscribe to this
Beatles.
video.
Yeah,
What?
or you'll be rushing to the hospital after Lev breaks your knees for
think.
not pressing
That's
the like
right.
button. Exactly.
Exactly. Okay.
When I'm
James, plug
64.
time.
All right. Time to plug for the millionth time this stream. MK Ultra Money on D Live. We are streaming Pokemon packs, Pokemon TCG, Yakuza 7. We're going to be streaming some Cold War, Black Ops when that comes out next week or whenever that comes out. Any other games I'm playing, Pokemon Platinum, Heart Gold, whatever. Bad Film Cast on Spotify. on iTunes, on Google Play. If you're a loser, YouTube, that comes up like fucking a month late because Terrence uploads it. We're talking about movies that are rotten on Rotten Tomatoes and defending them and shit posting the whole episode. We're rebranding as MK Ultra Money in season 2, which is going to be coming next year, and it's going to be fucking great. If you want good content, you follow Lev and you follow me. And if you want, I haven't seen Phil's content, but I'm going to vouch for Phil anyways. Don't lead me wrong, Phil. So follow all of us.
There we go.
And if you don't do it, we know where you live. It's
my Twitter's at Mr. Sue. You can see it on the screen, but
it's not hard to dox these days.
And
have your fucking family at gunpoint and tell them to subscribe to all of us.
Exactly.
Just do it.
And also look up
Reload.
Look up Mr. Chu by A Pink. It's a K-pop band, and I always think of Mr. Chu when I think of Mr. Sue. They're really
fuck that bitch Nicki Minaj.
Are you having problems getting it up? Then try Blue Chew.
These are my Korean fucking princesses, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't want to go down the K-pop rabbit hole, but like, do not research.
Yeah.
Do not research.
There's a song, by the way, that was by the Brown Eyed Girls in their album, and this album had a lot of references to physics. And one of their songs, which is supposed to be like a word play on the word wormhole, it was called Warm Hole, and it had a lot of really sexually suggestive lyrics.
That is fucking hilarious.
It's not disturbing.
Girls, warm hole. Let me see. Actually, hold on before we go. I know I'm really extending this.
Are you gonna? I'm gonna
can I go?
Okay. Here is no. I'm not gonna play it because of copyright. But I am gonna read it. I'm gonna read the one phrase that's in English here. Okay, it is. Fire in the hole when you touch me down there. I'm not feeling very well, so hot and down there. Fire in the hole when you come in right there. I'm not feeling very well, so love me right here.
I'm turned on. I gotta go, dude.
This is what Koreans. Is this what Koreans think of English?
Yeah, that's soju, baby. That's the Korean.
Yes.
There you go.
And the album itself. Let's see. It's They have another song, Time of Ice Cream. It's a really good song, at least for me, because this was the song that I was playing during the time of my time of taking psychedelic mushrooms. That was the song that I was playing right around.
Time of your my scream or ice cream?
Ice cream. Time of Ice Cream. Look at that song up. It's really interesting, and it has
like it's about the time you had ice cream. I don't get it.
Okay, so one of the lyrics. This is the only English one that I could find. It says, "If I have to die tonight, in your lips, ni ipsul aneso." Not really sure what that means, but it's a very
You just said a slur in Korean.
It talks about sacrifice. You know, it talks about sacrifice.
Lev, you listen to this while on mushrooms?
No, this is a song that I listened to around the time that I took mushrooms, so I still had the residual shroom psychic energy within me. So, and the album itself is called Basic. That's an interesting name for an album. But yeah.
Hey, which one of you shot in the head?
What?
I don't know what that means.
Is one of y'all shot in the head on Twitter?
No.
No.
Okay, never mind.
No, I don't know what that.
My Twitter's right here on screen.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Wait, let me see. Actually, I'm really curious right now. I know I'm holding everybody up. Everybody has to go fucking pee. But hold on. Let me see if I could find it. I really want to find the English translations to these songs because I really know that Japanese K-pop songs, they're like poetry. Here we go. Okay.
Did you say K-pop, Japanese K-pop?
That's an oxymoron.
That's not how that works.
No, I mean J-pop songs. If you look at the lyrics, to a lot of J-pop songs, they're really poetic. But anyway, this is Time of Ice Cream.
Shame for display.
This is Time of Ice Cream. Now all melt down. I flow as time goes. Since the moment you looked at me, we fell in love. We met each other out of the blue, living in different shapes and different times. I was waiting for so long. How long did you wait? Apparently, love always feels like this. If I have to die tonight, in your lips, if I have to melt away in your lips, I get tipsy on the sweetness on my tongue, on the tip of my tongue. I spread to every part of your body. I slowly fall asleep in warmth. Remember my flavor. Who is that girl next to you? Am I overreacting? Remember the reason why you chose me amongst those many choices. Perhaps they are all happy dreams in different reasons, different thoughts. Still, what's important is that I make you laugh at this moment. So there we go. This is the poetry.
Dude, that's literally female cuckoldry, the song K-pop version. Like that's what she was. Damn, that took a turn. I didn't know that was a roller coaster. That song.
Yeah, I'm even more turned on now. Like I need to leave immediately.
Yeah, I'm really turned on right now. I have to go.
I know. Well, it's no FAP November.
Seriously.
No nut November.
When I heard you say,
"Hey,
my
Lev,
lips,
I think your
my
mom's
lips
here,
over
dude."
and over.
Uh-uh.
When I heard you say my lips, Lev.
Yes, my lips. Yes.
Yeah.
No, there's
your lips is all I miss.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of good songs out there. There's one. I wonder.
No,
if
there's also a lot of bad songs.
Yeah. I wonder if I should look this one up, or maybe I'll save this one for the future. Okay, I'll save this one for the future. But it involves. Okay, I'm not even going to say what yet. Okay, guys, take care. This is it. I've been holding up for a very long time. This is it. The stream is officially ended. Subscribe.
Ruth Condon forever!
Woo!
Ruth Condon.